kick from O'Sullivan to win the set. It'll bounce down towards about 5 away from the corner post. 40-20. I don't know what he was thinking out there, Jareen Buller, as he just ushered that ball toward the eastern touchline. That is a successful 40-20 there from Sean O'Sullivan, and that will give more ball here. He was just behind the 40-metre line here, and it skids out, watched by Jareen Buller, about 5 shy of the corner post.
I'd love to know if that is the first 40-20 in the first set of the match. I can't remember one.
No, that is. So repeat ball here for the Bulldogs here, 10 out from West Tigers line for the ideal start. Thompson now, 7 away, right-hand side of the post. Dummy half, Bailey Haywood. Open side left here to Max King. Strong run here, brought down by 3 West Tigers defenders. Only a few metres shy now, left-hand side of the post. Bailey Haywood across now, Galvin. And now the fullback, Connor Tracy, with a couple of strong steps here. Stopped by Twoll, and also out there is Samuela Fainu. They bring it across left-hand side. Salmon to O'Sullivan. Burton off here in the corner, and Rinakama scores the try. So, on the back of the 40-20, the perfect start for the Bulldogs. 4-0 Canterbury, kick to come after just 2 minutes at Stadium Australia, Dean Hallertau.
Well, doesn't that give you some confidence, a start like that to the Bulldogs? The 40-20 from Sean O'Sullivan, of course, was a great kick. He just gets it inside his own 40 from the kick, and then it goes well out past the 10 metres of the Tigers, and they're straight into attack mode. The Bulldogs, it's pretty simple stuff out to their left-hand side. Great to see Jacob Preston getting involved as a ball player. Typically, you'd expect him to catch those edge runs and hit the line, but he transfers it out the back on another sweep line to find his fullback there, or to find Matt Burton, I should say. Then the tip on there to Rinakama in the corner was far too easy in the end.
Rinakama scored against the Raiders last week. He's now scored 6 tries from 6 games. Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
Yeah, I think Dean summed it up perfectly there. It was like a practice run that the movement through the hands by the Bulldogs was really slick. A lot of early passing, giving Rinakama early ball and giving him plenty of space on the edge there. That 40-20 should have never gone into touch. I don't know what Jareen Buller was thinking there, but he's one of the quickest fullbacks in the game. He was in position, he was there to get it, and he just watched it go over the touchline.
Here's the kick from the eastern sideline now with Matt Burton. He's 25 out. Left-footed goal kicker to make it a 6-0 Canterbury Bankstown lead here at Stadium Australia early on. And in he comes Burton on the kicking duties, and he's successful. 1 from 1. Canterbury 6, West Tigers 0. After 3.5 minutes here, Saturday night footy, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. After earlier, the Warriors beat the Dragons 20 points to 12, and much earlier in Canberra, the Raiders 34 beat South Sydney 24. 0467 920 222 is the SMS as always. I'm sure a few of those have come in. West Tigers have to be good on the defence, says one correspondent. Go the Doggies, says Hilly. A shout out to the boys on kicking back in front of the fire, sinking a few tinnies. Thanks for calling a great game. Hilly, Brand, Jock and George. And someone just says, is Jareen Buller fair dinkum? In response to that 40-20. Someone else says, are the Tigers still in the dressing sheds? What's doing? Yeah, well, they've given up the first try here. Offload here comes back from Carraz, and now Bailey Haywood. They get to have the ball here, West Tigers, and we've played 4 minutes. 6-0 the Bulldogs lead. Bailey Haywood gives it off to his right-hand side to Galvin. Runs at about 9 metres. Tackled there by Terrell May. Play at 35 out. Bailey Haywood off to his right now for Jacob Preston. Second game back from the broken arm. And 5 short of the halfway. He's brought down now. A couple of plays left in this set now for Canterbury Bankstown. It comes through hands back to Sean O'Sullivan. And he stands in the tackle of Xiaomi Mi. Now he's put down there by he and 12. 40 out, 20 in eastern side. Kick does come to Galvin. Up it goes. Sets a task down there for Jareen Buller. Knocked back by Burton. Still alive here for Haywood. And now Connor Tracy. Flick pass out the back here to Rinakama, the try scorer. And that is the last play. And now a changeover. 5 shy of West Tigers line. Now they'll have the ball for the very first time in the game.
Yeah, more great energy from the Bulldogs in terms of that attacking set. And then the kick that goes through. A really committed Matt Burton going up and knocking it back. I thought Rinakama probably had a chance to put it back on the toe, but he tucks it under the wing, gets tackled, and the Tigers get possession, and they'll want to just get through their set right now and get as far down the other end as possible.
Dazza listening in from Perth, looking forward to the call. Fancy Tigers for a shock win. I'm not sure if you're revising that tip now, Dazza, after that first bit of play with the try to Ratu Rinakama and that missed 40-20 by Jareem Buller. But alas, here they go. Taruva play at 25 out from his own line. Tigers with their first possession of this game. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside former Tiger and Bulldog Dean Hallertau and Matthew Elliott here on ABC Sport. Twirl on a centre field run, stopped after about 10 metres. Now it's last play Tigers, 40 out as Jared Haywood goes to his right. The kick to end the set goes onto the chest of Rinakama, and the Bulldogs go back on the attack. He was trying to steamroll them out there in Starford Toa, and he'll play at 30 out from his own line. Dogs here with their tails up with a 6-0 lead. Burton centre field run, pops it back now for Galvin. Carraz to the right-hand side. Koala's got some go as well. Over halfway, they'll watch him carefully here. Tawala takes on Jareem Buller, and he's put down 20 out, 10 in western side. Bulldogs here with a few plays left. Galvin across to his left-hand side. Danger here for the West Tigers. Comes through Sullivan. Coverage pass across to Rinakama. He can go 10 more metres. No, he takes on Dewey. He's stopped a metre shy, and he's lost the ball in the process. So the Tigers at last hold on and prevent a second Canterbury Bankstown try as they're going to challenge this. So the Bulldogs, have a listen.
Challenge coming into 3. Bulldogs are challenging the decision of knock on, saying it was stripped.
So we'll see what Ash Klein of the bunker has to say. And we'll see our first replay here as well.
It's an action from Adam Dewey to strip the ball, just confirming that there's only one player in the tackle when this occurs.
So if it's 1-on-1, of course, that's okay.
I think he regains possession in Rinakama, so it could be a play the ball 60 again, or a penalty if there's involvement.
It's just
It's a one-on-one strip which goes backwards. Bulldogs then regain possession, which resets the tackle count.
Wow. So, I spoke too early. Tigers aren't out of the woods yet. They trail 6-0. So back to the touchline, Matthew Elliott.
The Tigers are deep in the woods, because I can tell you what, mate, their actual intensity is very low. There's no real heavy contact being made, and the ruck speed by the Bulldogs, they need to do something about this, and they need to do about it now.
We're all deep in the woods. There's Bailey Haywoods and Jared Haywoods. Here's Leo Thompson, and he charges through here across that 20-metre line for the Bulldogs. He's 13 out left-hand side of the post here. Dogs lead 6-0. Bailey Hayward across to his right now for Galvin. And Max King through a gap. Oh, that was huge, but he stopped a metre shy as he was chased out by Jared Hayward. Dogs waste no time. Right to left they go. Kick from Galvin, who's chasing it in the in-goal area. And Curran just got there. Curran, the big fella, chased that ball from Galvin. Does he ground it clean? I reckon he does. Bulldogs scored 2 tries. A nice arrow celebration as well from Josh Curran, who's starting at lock tonight for Harry Hayes, the late switch. And he scores their second try. 10-0 Bulldogs kick to come after 8 minutes here on ABC Sport. Dean Hallertau.
He's a real favourite of the Bulldogs fans, Josh Curran, and it's a nice touch by Lockie Galvin. Once again, the Dogs are easily in the Tigers' territory. They're still asleep, as Matty Elliott was alluding to before. They haven't come out of the change rooms, the Tigers, and their defence on the right-hand side, they sort of pulled in close to the post and they had to readjust on the way out. Lockie Galvin does a great job to recognise the space in behind, but the touch that he puts on the ball is special as well. And watching the put down there, I believe he gets it down there quite comfortably, Josh Curran. But the opening here from the Bulldogs has been exceptional.
Oh, it is exceptional for them and very concerning if you're a West Tigers fan. Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
I'm telling you, it's a training run. At the moment, they've been put under no pressure at all. But that was beautifully touched from Lockie Galvin. Don't get that wrong. He showed great class here, but he was under no pressure. He was a try-line play the ball. So they're not back 10 metres. He was under no pressure making that kick as he went at the line. So there's just some little subtleties there that, unless West Tigers address it, this is going to be a big scoreline.
Now Burton nailed the first conversion attempt after the Rinakama try from on the sideline. Here he is, about 8 metres in from that eastern side, 25 out from that southern goal line here to make it 12-0 inside the first 8.5 minutes. Tigers. And Matt Burton does just that. He's 2 from 2. Canterbury 12, West Tigers 0 early on here at Stadium Australia, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. It's like a scene out of the castle. How's the intensity? Says there's one correspondent. Listening on our long drive on the way back from Sydney to Gold Coast. Thanks for the great commentary. Cheers, Beck and Adam. Dion says happy Sunday. You're a day early, Dion. We'd love to hear from you, Brett, Matthew, Dean. Have fun. We always are. Listening from Newcastle, Tobias. The Tigers don't seem to have any strategy anymore. They just go with the flow. And Luca. Luca, I think you're on a suspension for me, mate. The fabrication of the story that he asked me for a selfie last week, which I took on my phone. I didn't even see Luca last week. Sorry, Luca. I feel defamed. Here you go, the Bulldogs 20 out from that northern line here. With a 12-0 lead played by Thompson. Bailey Hayward across to the left-hand side now. Galvin in a 3-man tackle. Makes some metres post contact. Played to Bailey Hayward. Off to Jamin Salmon. And he bounced off Jared Hayward. Coming the other way, and here goes Bailey for the Bulldogs, over halfway now for Canterbury, 12-0 their lead, and still now it will be last play, 40 outs in the field, comes to Galvin, a couple of steps and a high kick, it sits up there for Jareen Buller, takes it 10 metres out from his own line, returns it about 5 more metres, and Tigers are on the attack here, and I'd hate to think actually what possession is for the breakdown in this game, because it would be, in fact, it is currently at 82% possession away of the Bulldogs with that 12-0 lead. Tigers, though, 30 out, played by Jerome Luai, off to Alex Twoll, and he's set upon by Bailey Hayward and Leo Thompson, 35 out. Setting up a dummy half is Jared Hayward, through hands safe up to Dewey, left to right shift here with Stafford Toa, and he's brought down on that far side by O'Sullivan. Running kick now from Dewey. They'll all chase it through as it pitches 30 out, but Tracy gets there, the fullback for the Bulldogs, and 25 out, 10 in from the eastern side. They'll start their next set of the game from there. 11 going first half. Bulldogs 12, West Tigers 0 here on ABC Sport.
Yeah, well, that was a better set from the Tigers. A little bit of spark when they shifted the ball to their right and they get to a kick. But in the previous set, Lockie Galvin ran the ball like he was a front rower, and that shows, I guess, the intensity or the attitude in defence from the Tigers.
Offload bubbles out here, picked up by Galvin. Bulldogs go right to left, and again, Josh Curran, one of their 2 try scorers so far tonight inside these first 12 minutes, is Clay Meter short of halfway. Played to Bailey Hayward. Short side left here, O'Sullivan onto Burton, and he stands in a 3-man tackle. There was a call there of held, and then there was a bit of afters as well, but nothing forthcoming here by way of a Canterbury penalty. Left to right. Off here again now for Preston, runs it through centre field. Stopped there by Samuel Afeno, 30 out. Couple of steps, and the kick now from Galvin. Jareen Buller watches. Tracy gets involved through the air, but Buller takes it cleanly, and they'll start this next set. The Tigers 10 out from their own line. They trail 12-0 at the hands of the Bulldogs here at Stadium Australia after earlier in Auckland. The Warriors 20 beat St George Illawarra 12. Here they go, West Tigers already on play 3. 20 out, 20 in their own half. On that western side of the ground, sitting at Taruva. Gains about 8 more. Plays it here now for Jared Hayward. Off to his fullback, Jareen Buller. Dragged back there by Thompson and co. And he'll be playing it now 35 out from his own line on this last play of the set for the Tigers. The kick from Adam Dewey. High down towards the chest of Rena Kama, who scored the first try of the game. And he returns it all the way to about 35 out from his own line, where he meets the contact of Terrell May front on. Here you go, the Dogs through Tracy on the treadmill now, the fullback, and he'll play it 40 out from his own line as it's fed across to the right-hand side now for Carraz. Got away from Jared Hayward and Seyfarth. Some support comes in there on the defence from Terrell May. Ali Hayward, it's come off Jared Hayward. There will be 6 more here for the Bulldogs. So picked up by Curran, and a full set now for the Dogs. 35 out from West Tigers line with a 12-0 lead. Dummy half Burton, open side right. Salmon, strong run, gains a dozen. He's 24 away from that southern goal line now. Bailey Hayward to his right for Max King. And now Galvin, loaded Tracy. Got some pressure though coming off the line there from the likes of Macassini. And in the end, the referee Tyson Bruff deems that it was it'll be the Bulldogs ball here, so knocked back by West Tigers. And it will remain in their possession, Canterbury. 78% possession with a 12-0 scoreline after 13 minutes here at Stadium Australia. Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
Yeah, a really obvious strategic approach by Cameron Geraldo is to really work over the middle third of the West Tigers. You can see the fatigue starting to take place already, and you add to that high percentage of possession. You can see that this is going to end up in points very soon.
So, scrum feed here for the Bulldogs, 25 out from that southern goal line, which West Tigers are defending. Bailey Hayward across to his left now for O'Sullivan. Flat ball across to Matt Burton, and Burton surrenders here, 20 out from the West Tigers line. Across to Bailey Hayward, first receiver, and now Max King on a stepping run here towards that 10-metre line. He's dragged down by Seyfarth, and also in there Terrell May and Twal. Bailey Hayward across to his left now, O'Sullivan tipped on to Galvin, and the overzealous Matt Burton just slingshotted his way through, but couldn't take clean possession, and it will be West Tigers ball about 10 metres out from that southern goal line.
Yeah, well, there was points on offer there. Matthew was right. That was coming, and they created the overlap, though. They had an extra man. I think Galvin was potentially looking at over the top, and he was cutting hard against the grain there was Matt Burton, and the ball just comes rocketing into him as he tries to grab it and then to ground. So alarming signs once more for the Tigers. Their edge defence there, they were left short. There was points on offer, but the mistake for the Bulldogs lets them off the hook.
Hillbilly Harv in the Perth Hills in Chidlow, WA, says, oh yeah, looking forward to seeing Josh Curran in the Perth Bears jersey next year. Indeed, yeah, 3-year deal for Josh Curran, and one of their 2 try scorers so far tonight for the Doggies. Tigers on the attack, played by Taruva. Dummy half Hayward, that's Jared Hayward off here to Macassini in his 13th career game. Macassini it's now back here, 25 out from their own line, played by Taruva. Centre field run now from Fainu, that's Samuela Fainu. Both occupying back row spots, Samuela and Sione Fainu, with Latu on the bench. And now Dewey, surrounded by 3 blue and white jerseys. He stands in the tackle of Thompson and play at 40 out centre field. Jared Hayward off to his left here for the kick from Luai. It's his first kick of the game, Jerome Luai. Goes down towards that 20-metre line. Taken on the full by Jacob Carraz, and he returns it about a dozen more. And now driven back there by Macassini and Terrell May and the Samuela Fainu. 30 out, 20 in Western side. Dogs on the attack, 12-0 their lead after 15 and a half minutes here. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Dean Hallertau and Matthew Elliott, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Now Rinakama, tackled by Dewey, play at 40 out. Bailey Hayward off to his right for Galvin, and he backs his way into oncoming traffic. Gets over halfway here for the Dogs on tackle 4. We're about to see Appy Croyce out into the game for the first time tonight. Of course, missed recently with that pec injury, missed last week. Play 35 out here, the kick from Galvin to end the set for the Bulldogs. Up goes Jareem Buller, one back by Preston, and now Thompson feeds it away for Carraz. Still alive last play for the Dogs. Carraz stopped by Dewey. Back 12 it was, got the offload away here, and has now come forward off the Bulldogs. I fancy it will be the offside penalty going the way of the Bulldogs, but there'll be a challenge.
Bulldogs are challenging the contest, saying that there was a knock-on the contest.
I think Jareem Buller got to the ball first, so
We've got a penalty for offside.
he let that one go through. There wasn't a call on
Free
Buller.
kick chase at the moment, stuck in the hands of Jareem Buller. Comes off the hands of him first into Jacob Preston for a knock-on.
Good challenge.
So it will be double knock-on and Canterbury scrum.
Possession.
Correct. 20.
With the on-field ruling at the end of a penalty against the Bulldogs, we're playing the
yep.
The captain challenge is successful.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, no advantage. We're not going to get you guys. It's going to be a scrum.
scrum feed, Bulldogs 10 metres out, centre field. Let's head back to the touchline. Matthew Elliott.
One of the key things that you've got to get your team to do defensively is when someone carries the ball into the line with no support, there's got to be a consequence for it physically. At the moment, it's a cuddle fest by the West Tigers, and unless they turn that around, I know I'm getting a little bit repetitious here, they won't be deep in the woods, they'll be deep in the wards.
12-0, Canterbury's lead. Base of the scrum, Bailey Hayward across to O'Sullivan, now tip wide. Tracy to Rinakama, takes on Stafford Tyre on that far edge, and he'll play it now. Only a few out from West Tigers line. Dummy half Burton, back across here for O'Sullivan, and now again Bailey Hayward to Max King. He straightens his run toward the post. They're going to set restart here, Canterbury Bankstown. So 12-0 their lead, 11 out attacking the post southern end. Bailey Hayward off to his right now for Leo Thompson. There's 5 of those metres they need. They need 5 more here as the Tigers goal line is under all kinds of pressure. Bailey Hayward off to his left now for Galvin, and now Curran bounced off him to O'Sullivan. It's going to be still here alive for the Bulldogs as Burton feeds it wide to Rinakama, and he scores his second try. What was doing there? No pun intended. Adam Dewey was on the line there for the West Tigers. I thought it might have been knocked forward by the Bulldogs, but there's no argument forthcoming here from West Tigers. And as far as we're concerned, they've scored their third try, the Dogs, the second for Rinakama, and it's 16-0, kick to come.
Yeah, I think this one's going to come back. I agree with you, Sprigg. I thought it was Curran that was running the lead line.
Yeah.
He has a swipe at the ball. It pops up in the air. He's called it off Dewey. Dewey does get his hand forward, so maybe he gets the first touch or there is a touch from him, but the initial call there of a try, I think we're going to see it maybe referred upstairs for a look.
We'll see what happens there as we get to Matthew Elliott very shortly as well. Barry from Mansfield says, enjoying a few pints. ABC listen in my ears with footy on both TVs. Ethan in Lightning Ridge, loving my doggies in attack this week in comparison to the last couple of rounds. Good to put some points on the board in the first 20 for the first time in a while. Luca, you're forgiven. I appreciate the gag. I thought that even statistically Tigers would be due for a win, but something is clearly missing. I feel for Benji from D-Man in Canberra, and now we will have a look at this.
Did you get the hands of Josh Curran?
Ashley Klein talking about this. So does Curran touch the ball here? If so...
Comes off the hand of Josh Curran.
Oh, yeah, it's clear as day.
To regain possession. Curran touches the ground with his teammate, which he fails to do. We have a decision.
So that will be, as we predicted, Dean Hallertau, no try for the Bulldogs, and that's sort of mercifully the case for West Tigers. Dale, thank you for your text. Great game tonight. Go Doggies from Amazing Alley in Appen, where it happens. Tim says, is Luai out? You haven't called his name once, Spriggy. Yeah, I mentioned his first kick just before, and he hasn't touched the ball beyond that. Thank you very much for your text. Around the grounds quickly as well. AFL first quarter. Collingwood 18 leads Carlton 15 at the MCG, and the rugby's underway very soon. Wallabies v Italy at Perth Oval. That is a sellout, and you can hear that on ABC Sports Extra via the ABC Listen app. Bulldogs 12, West Tigers 0 the scoreline here. Tigers run it from their own line here to try to force their way back in the game, and all that's happening here is the Bulldogs defence have forced that ball carrier all the way back in Gerald Skelton, metre out from his own line. So any way you chop it up, Ben Hallertau, whether it's attack, defence, the Dogs have been far superior.
Yeah, they're running with a lot of confidence at the moment, aren't they? Both with the ball in hand, and now we're seeing it in their defence. Line speeds up, their contacts up, and the Tigers struggling. Although this penalty will give them a piggyback out of their own end.
Penalty West Tigers, so Canterbury 12, West Tigers 0, 17 gone, 23 left in this first half. Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
Well, this is the moment the West Tigers get to turn this half around. They get a little bit of field position. It's the first time they've had a set play start. They can show the fans and each other what they've come here to do.
I think there are untouched blades of grass behind that 30-metre line. Have they gone further than that, West Tigers, in this game so far? They're over halfway on play 2, looking for the break there, Jareem Buller, and he's dragged down now 8 metres inside Bulldogs territory. Played it to Croysau, who's out there, wearing number 22, off to Sione Fainu. So he's 30 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Dummy half Croysau, across for Seafarth, and now Luai centre field. The pass off the left edge this time for Samuela Fainu, and he's brought down 28 out, left-hand side of the post. Croysau across to Luai, left behind there for Seafarth, and still a metre shy of the red zone now on last play, West Tigers. Croysau to the right-hand side for the Dewey kick. Wide for the corner. Up they all go. go. Rinakama, great one-handed take. Brings it down comfortably for the Bulldogs, and they'll play it 5 out from their own line, go back into attack. 12-0 Canterbury's lead here. 19 gone, 21 left in this first half.
Yeah, in terms of territory, that was a great set from the Tigers. They finish, a couple of metres out from the Bulldogs line, but it was an outstanding catch by Rinakama. He jumps up one-handed with the pressure coming through from Skelton, so under all sorts he did well.
Played by Josh Curran, comes across here Rinakama, but again, strong defence just envelops him. Twal was in there with Seyfarth. Bailey Hayward across to his left-hand side for the dash of Connor Tracy, who's held 20 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Last play, Bulldogs, the best defensive set for the Tigers there as well, as the Dogs kick it over halfway down towards Doreen Buller, stationed on his own 30-metre line. As he's met, though, by Thompson and King. Played 8 metres short of halfway. Tigers back on the attack. Luai feeds it across left-hand side to Ruva. On that western side logo here at Stadium Australia, where the Bulldogs lead the Tigers 12 points to 0 on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Dean Hallertau and Matthew Elliott. Played there by Macassini. Dummy half Caroisau off the Terrell May. Comes across here now for Sione Fainu. And he's stopped on that edge by O'Sullivan and Hayward. And now Dewey goes from dummy half. Seals a quick dozen here. He's 20 out. Last play for the Tigers. Caroisau across to the open side. Now the kick from Jerome Luai. Up it goes. Hangs there for a fair while. But again, they're at Rinakama. Did so well through the air. For the second time in the space of a couple of minutes, and brings the footy away here for the Bulldogs. Bit of a gap opens up here for Tuala. Run down, desperate stuff by Luai. He'll play it now 30 out from his own line. Comes across here, Carraz, off to Tracy, and the fullback is collected 35 out, 20 in from that western side of the ground, as the Bulldogs keep a 12-0 lead here. And they've got the ball in hand, approaching the halfway line here on this second last play. Bailey Hayward sets up from dummy half. Goes left-hand side now for Max King. And he runs into 4 orange and black jerseys who'll play it on halfway here for Canterbury. Off to Bailey Hayward. Left-hand side to O'Sullivan. And his kick will end the set. High and long off his left peg. Down towards the 10-metre line. And Gerald Skelton returns it 20 out from his own line. Tackled 20 in from the eastern touchline. We're over the halfway stage of the opening 40 here at Stadium Australia, where it's Canterbury 12, West Tigers 0.
It was a great response, that set from the Bulldogs, as the Tigers sort of wrestle back a little bit of momentum. Again, Rinakama on the catch from the kick through, but he gets through the first defensive line and really propels his set. So the Dogs haven't lost that intensity they started the game with. 30 out from that southern line. Tigers on the attack and trying to get something going here, though. West Tigers with Terrell May. Play to Caroisau. Kicks from dummy half here on second. Last play from behind the 40. Doesn't quite have the angle, as we saw from O'Sullivan in the first set of the game for Canterbury Bankstown. So it remains Bulldogs 12, Tigers 0, 18 left in the first half. Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
Well, what we are seeing from the Tigers here is some intent behind their play and some cohesion. They were a little bit disappointed with that choice to kick there. A little bit of an exchange between Appy and Jerome, but can the West Tigers start to get some momentum with what they're doing at the moment? They're
defending here. Dogs are on the attack. Carraz fends off Luai. Now here goes the run from Jacob Preston up that right-hand side of the ground. And he stopped just inside the western touchline. 40 out from West Tigers line. Tracy, tackle 3. Right to left they shift it now. Curran, off here to Burton. He can sense the run going their way. But keeps the footy here in the tackle of Starford Toa. He'll play out 35 out. It's going to be a set restart Canterbury. So 12-0 remains their lead. And Curran runs the footy from dummy half. And they're 23 out from West Tigers line. Dummy half Burton through hands O'Sullivan. Off to Jamin Salmon. And he goes inside that 20-metre line again here at that side end of the ground. So he'll play it 15 out. Bailey Hayward looks to his right now for O'Sullivan. Off to Galvin, to Preston. Big wall defence there. Offside comes though for Tuala, who's reaching in that western corner and scores the try. Well, the shift was backing across here for Canterbury, but Tuala in that southwestern corner scores the try. Their third try of the game. 16-0, kick to come Doggies with 17 left in the first half in Hallertau.
Yeah, well, just as we talk about the Tigers sort of generating some positive play, the Doggies continue their strong form. They get down deep into attacking territory, and the shift there to their right-hand side, they go to one of their key guys who loves running those hard lines. I mentioned that earlier. Jacob Preston, he's so good in contact. He gets whacked pretty hard by Macassini, but he spins off, gets the arms free, and it's a round the corner pass to find his outside man, which sets up the try. He's a really good player, Jacob Preston, and he's showing why he's so important to the Bulldogs right now.
Anari Tawala, who missed with illness last week, scores a try. His third of the season so far. 16-0 Bulldogs kick to come. Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
That's about the fourth time in the game already where Macassini's made good contact, but players have got offloads in his tackle. It's what he does after that contact that he really needs to work on there. But Jacob Preston, just the poise and the patience he showed after he was whacked there, just to spin and sit that pass up, that shows the class he's got and how much he's been missed by this Bulldogs team.
We'll set the footy here, Matt Burton, 25 out on the western side this time. Right on that near side touchline. 2 from 2 so far tonight. Both those conversions were taken from that far side of the ground. So he's got his kicking boots on tonight, Matt Burton, to make it 18-0 Canterbury inside these first 25 minutes. Possessions come right back to 63% Bulldogs, by the way, Dean. It was 82% at one stage, so they've slacked off a bit, the Bulldogs. Here's Burton, right side for a left footer. Comes along pretty straight, no real breeze to speak of. Look at that, 2 flags up as well. Burton 3 from 3. Bulldogs 18, Tigers 0. 15 and a half left in the first half. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. The test is backing West anytime is madness, says Rowdy Andy. Spriggy Dean and Matthew just had savoury mince and eggs on toast with brown sauce for tea. Loving the footy. Have an awesome call. Derek and Ann are in bed in Howard, Queensland. Thank you, Derek and Ann. As a Tigers fan for 62 years, it's heartbreaking that players don't have a crack year after year. Feel for Benji. Hopefully next year is stable for once. That's from Cookie. Good on you, Cookie. Around the grounds, AFL, quarter time at the MCG. Collingwood 18, Carlton 16. Rugby almost underway in Perth. Wallabies v Italy, available on ABC Listen via ABC Sports Extra. Here though, Stadium Australia, NRL round 20. It's the Bulldogs 18, West Tigers 0, and there's a quarter of an hour left in this first half. Played by Carraz on tackle 3 here for the Bulldogs. Centre field run now from Max King. Stands in the Terrell May tackle, now brought down by he, and also out there Samuela Fainu, 35 out. Strong run here from Jacob Preston, Dean Hallertau. We mentioned in second game back now, he was solid last week, but really getting involved now, especially on that last try for Anari Tawala. And now Galvin steals a quick dozen as well. 40 out from West Tigers line. Last play Bulldogs. Dummy half Bailey Hayward across now to O'Sullivan. Puts up a high left foot kick. It'll sit there. 13 out for Jareem Buller. And he's cleaned up down there by Jamin Salmon, and he'll play it here for West Tigers. 10 out from his own line.
Yeah, well-timed run there from Jamin Salmon. The temptation to hit the fullback too early or when they're in the air is often there, but he gets it spot on and contacts Jareem Buller right as he catches it on the ground and just gets his defensive set for his team off to a great start.
Dummy half Karoyasau off to Alex 12, and he's met by 3 defenders there. Thompson the first of them. 30 out from West Tigers line. They're on the attack here. They shift it to the right-hand side now for Xiaomi Fainu, the recent 50 gamer. He turned 25 2 weeks ago. Kick from inside 40 from Dewey, but it goes nice and straight there. Not so nice for him, but picked up by Connor Tracy. Flings it across here for Jacob Carraz. Had the recent rib injury, and he brings it across on this western side of the ground, and now surrenders in the tackle of Samuela Fainu, 30 out from his own line. On comes Viliami Kickout for the first time since round 8. Back from that pec injury. He's captaining this Canterbury side tonight. In the absence of Stephen Crichton. Meanwhile, Connor Tracy in the centre field run is collected by Karoyasau and also Sione Fainu, 8 metres short of the halfway. And there is the first run from Viliami kick out that left edge. 5 short of the halfway. Played to Bailey Hayward. Now Leo Thompson runs it straight into Karoyasau and Sione Fainu. 40 out from Tigers line. Last play Bulldogs. 18-0 their lead. 13 left first half. Burton with a run on the kick. Up that wing. Renakama takes it. Might get there on this last play. He's brought down, though, by a couple of those defenders. And he will play it 5 out. Effectively, West Tigers, beg your pardon, will play it on the changeover. 5 out from their own line. It's still Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0. Dean Hallertau.
Well, Renakama's been great in the air. That's another catch. I know he got tackled on last play, but but he's really committed and he's got great hands while he's up above the opposition players. And it's great to see Viliami kick out, get back out there in the field. He takes a run almost within 5 seconds of being on the field. He looks really confident already. Josh Curran moving to the middle as he comes on.
Try scorers so far: Karma, Curran and Tawala for Canterbury. 18-0 their lead. Tigers on the attack though. 30 out from their own line with Samuela Fainu. Plays at centre field now. Alex Twal gains 10, 11, 12. Galvin wraps him up with Tawala. Now Twal will play at 7 short of the halfway. Karoisau rips it right-hand side here for Adam Dewey, and he kicks down towards that northwestern corner, taken by Connor Tracy. The Dogs fullback explodes into stride now over the 20-metre line. He fends off one tackle there at Bolle, gets the pass off to Renakama. He spins away from Starford Toa, and he's still going Renakama before he stopped. 35 out and a few in from the eastern side. Played by Burton off to Kickow. Another left edge run here for the returning back rower, and he'll play it now 8 short of the halfway. Here the Dogs on the attack, 18-0 their lead. Harry Hayes in the action, so that was the late switcheroo with Josh Curran starting and Harry Hayes back on, as you mentioned, Dean Hallertau. Meter inside West Tigers territory, and now we've seen a player slip over out there. O'Sullivan will play at 40 out from West line. Through hands Salmon off to Galvin. This is second last play for Canterbury. It comes to the right-hand side. Wasn't quite the tidiest pass for Carraz. Picked up down there by Jerome Luai for a 0 tackle West Tigers. They'll play at 40 out from their own line.
Yeah, it was Macassini again coming wedging in, trying to shut things down, and he's not thinking too much. He's just trying to rush in and force the Dogs into a poor pass, which is what he comes up with on that occasion, and it gives his team a bit of good possession with the ball and see if they can turn it into something with attack.
11 minutes left first half here at Stadium Australia, where it's the Bulldogs 18, Tigers 0, and now a forward pass ruled here by referee Tyson Bruff, which will give the ball back to the Bulldogs on the halfway line. Let's head back to the touchline. Matthew Elliott.
Well, I'm going to be very repetitious here. That was, again, just a poor decision to make that play there by May, and just putting his team under pressure. And the Bulldogs, honestly, they're cruising at the moment. If they could just go up a gear or two, particularly with Viliami Kikau over on that left-hand side, there's going to be real danger here. I just want to see the Tigers turn their mentality around.
Scrum feed will come centre field. 5 metres inside West Tigers territory. Hung across here for Connor Tracy. Collected there by Luai and also Sione Fainu. 35 out, 20 in from the western side here. The Dogs with Bailey Hayward dummy half. Off to Harry Hayes. And Harry Hayes only gains a few more metres here on tackle 3 now to get a start. Bailey Hayward across to O'Sullivan. And now Galvin feeds Kickow. He steps on the inside there of Dewey. Feeds it back to his young halfback, Galvin. Turned 21 this week. The former West Tiger will play at 30 out, 20 in from the far side. Bailey Hayward across now for Salmon. Don't be the pass there for Curran. And it's come up with here by the West Tigers. So picked up by Adam Dewey somehow. And it was a loose ball pounced on by Dewey. And Tigers turned defence into attack on their own 30-metre line.
Yeah, almost a mistake there, but on first play by Bolle, it was a bad pass. And, again, the Tigers just need to get through a set, get to a kick and try and build some pressure with their defence, which they haven't done at any stage in this game so far.
I'll get to a few the long-form texts at half-time if I can regarding Jerome Luai and the cultural things around West Tigers. All that stuff's coming through already as they trail 18-0 in this first half at the hands of the Bulldogs. Tigers are on the attack though, ball in play on halfway. It's played there by the fullback, Jareen Buller, and now Twal takes on Curran, surrounded there by Bailey Hayward and Jamin Salmon just inside Canterbury territory. It will be last play Tigers. Karoisau to his right for Adam Dewey. A high torpedo bomb going down towards the 10-metre line. Lets it bounce this time Renakama and competes through the air with his teammate coming the other way, O'Sullivan. And Renakama does collect it though, not for the first time in this game. 20 out from his own line. Tracy wastes no time. Off to Tawala. And Luai and Macassini meet him on the 30-metre line. Canterbury here with Tracy. Gets away from dummy half. Steals a quick 10. Now he's 40 out on tackle 3 here for the Bulldogs. 18-0 their lead. Hayward off here to Josh Curran. Has one arm pinned down there by Sione Fainu. And he'll play it now. Metre inside West Territory. Bailey Hayward dummy half. Off here to O'Sullivan. Flat ball to Harry Hayes. And now it will be last play. 40 out from West Tigers line. Bailey Hayward to his left this time for O'Sullivan, who kicks from the 40-metre line. Up in the air it goes. Out to the wing. Jareen Buller does launch. There was some contact with Burton in the air and will come back here and will be penalty West Tigers. It will remain, though, scoreboard-wise, 18-0 Canterbury Bankstown.
Yeah, that's a disruptor, I believe, there from Matt Burton. He comes through too early, jumps straight into Buller, who doesn't end up getting a fair catch at the ball. So the penalty's awarded. See Latu Fine, who's on the field for the Tigers now. He'll try and spark a little bit of creativity close to the ruck, try and get them up the other end of the field.
7:20 left in this first half. Around the grounds of the AFL second quarter, Collingwood 18 leads Carlton 16 at the MCG, and first quarter AFL in Perth, Brisbane 7, West Coast Eagles 1. Speaking of Perth, Wallabies 5 with the first try there, lead Italy 0 in that Rugby International. Played here by West Tigers on the halfway. Karoisau off to Dewey, and now Jerome Luai with a forward pass to Samuel Afenu. So again, more Bulldogs ball near the halfway line. They have had 60% possession for that 18-0 scoreline with 6:50 left in the first half. Back to the sideline, Matthew Elliott.
Yeah, well, what we're witnessing here, and I don't know how to do this for our listeners, but this is not a high-quality game of footy. We're not. Just the contact, the execution, the skill. I know how the quality of player out there is just amazing. So they need to really regather themselves, both teams, because we're seeing a lot of errors here, and play their best footy.
It's 11th versus 14th, just to remind you. There's a text here that says, it's flung away here by Taruve as he's on that flick pass from Carraz. They'll give possession back here to the Bulldogs. The media men tell you the game is worth $5 billion. It's worth about 20 cents and a kick in the head at the moment, says one texter. Look, some games better than others, let's face it. We've seen some crackers across the past few weeks.
There's been a lot of crackers.
There's been some great games. Repeating earlier, by the way, in Auckland, the Warriors 20 beat the Dragons 12, and earlier in Canberra, the Raiders 34 beat South Sydney 24. The NRLW, here it was Canterbury 24, Cronulla 18, and the Roosters 22, Raiders 18, Warriors 42 beat the Cowboys 4. We'll rake up all the footy so far today across the grades, NRL men's and women's, and look ahead to the Sunday in round 20 as well later on tonight. Bailey Hayward from dummy half here. Galvin was collected by Jerome Luai as he got the pass away. Jamin Salmon now tackled by Karoisau. 35 out. Set restart going the Bulldogs' way. So a full set 30 out from West Tigers line. 18-0 their lead with 5 minutes and change left in this first 40. Bailey Hayward on play 2. Across to his left-hand side now, O'Sullivan. Back on the inside for Viliami kick out. And 3 Tigers stop him. 15 out, left-hand side of the post. Bailey Hayward goes straight from dummy half. Shares it with Jamin Salmon. Now Harry Hayes. Offloads back to Salmon. Now Tracy to Preston. Bouncing ball finds Carraz on the wing. He steps infield now. Brought to Makasini. Flick pass back here for Tawala. And he goes to ground. 5 out from West Tigers line. Still a couple of plays left in this set for the Bulldogs. 18-0 their lead. Hayward finds Galvin. Across the uprights they go left-hand side. O'Sullivan off to Tracy. And now Burton taken around the legs by Starford Toa. Play it 13 out left-hand side. Connor Tracy. Back to Harry Hayes. Straightening run toward the post here for the Dogs. He's 7 out now in front of the post. Last play Canterbury. 18-0 their lead. Bailey Hayward to his left now for O'Sullivan. Off to Galvin again. Hit Burton at speed. That pass from Galvin. A ricochet straight into the path of the West Tigers. And they'll turn defence into attack the Tigers. And with 4 minutes and 11 seconds left, they will have the ball in their keeping.
Yeah, it was the same result as we've seen earlier, like you mentioned, Spriggy, that shift to the left-hand side, but they again had created a 3-on-2 situation. He just gets the pass wrong. He hits the short man when he probably wanted to hit the long man, and Matt Burton's run that really committed line, so he's screaming for the ball. He wants it. He thinks there's a real chance for him. They're just going to get it right, and there'll be points on offer.
25 out from that southern line. Tigers on the attack, and by the way, someone's tried to send a correction about Karoisau's name. No, it is Karoisau. Karoisau is his name, and that's how he said it, and that's how we say it, and if we're the only ones that say it correctly, then so be it. He'll play it here, Karoisau, just shy of the halfway. Right-hand side, it comes through hands to Latu Finu, and on that right edge, a bit of a run here from Jereme Buller, the fullback, as Adam Dewey Dummies the 40, and now Bailey Hayward drags him down 40 out from the Bulldogs line here. Tigers on this second last play. Croyce out of the right-hand side. Little darting run now from Latu Fino. Shares it with brother Xiaomi, and now he's collected 27 out, right-hand side. Comes to Dewey. One step and a high kick down towards that northeastern corner. Launching Tracy did well through the air. Was there some untoward contact out there from Starford, from Gerald Skelton? No, says the ref. And the Bulldogs will go on the attack regardless with an 18-0 lead to boot. 2:40 left in this first half. And you can't take your eyes off Ratu Winakamo. Scored the first try of the game. He has the ball here on the carry. 25 out from his own line. Tackle 4. Bailey Hayward go from right to left to right here, the Bulldogs. Tracy got through one tackle. In from behind, though, is Sione Fainu. And now that was just a... I know it was Australia, the collar there from Sione Fainu on Lockie Galvin, but not illegal, said the referee, as O'Sullivan's kick does close the set for Canterbury. Down towards the 10-metre line, Jareem Buller gathers, and he's met straight away by Viliami kick-out. There's a guy who's been starved of that sort of stuff for 12 weeks now. Viliami kick-out with a nice tackle there on the West Tigers. Still inside their own end, 25 out on tackle 3, trailing 18 points to nil the West Tigers with a minute 40 left and a half. Played by Starford Toa. Comes left-hand side off to Jerome Luai. He slipped the tackle of Preston, and now the future Eel and Chief Jerome Luai tackled 30 out. Get the ball moving here, the West Tigers with Jerome Buller. He's 40 out now. Last play, West Tigers. Sent in from that western side. Macassini finds the kick of Dewey. He goes that spiralling punt down towards Tracy. Just kept his toes inside that western sideline. 20 out from his own line, and he pirouettes into a tackle here, 30 out.
Yeah, well, he had to take that, Tracy, because if the ball lands, there's a real chance of a 40-20, an unorthodox 40-20, so he done well in the end just to stay in the field of play.
Well, swinging across here, right to left. Winakama will play at 30 out. Dummy half O'Sullivan. Burton explodes away here. Left one tackler behind. Not so here, Latu Fino. 7 short of the halfway. Viliami kick out first receiver. Offloads effectively. Picked up here by O'Sullivan here on tackle 3, as you heard there from referee Tyson Bruff. And the Bulldogs here looking to add to their 18-0 lead with 40 seconds left in this first half at Stadium Australia. Over halfway they go here with Jamin Salmon. And he's held there by Alex Twal. Play at 40 out centre field. Bailey Hayward across to his left now for Sean O'Sullivan. Up goes the high kick out to that wing. Taken by Gerald Skelton. And 4 blue and white jerseys stop him. 20 out from that southern goal line here. This will be the last set of the game. Maybe the last play of the half, I should say. As 18-0 remains the Canterbury Bankstown scoreline. And that will be it. At half-time, in which the Bulldogs, well, yeah, they were dominant. Let's put it that way. They scored those first 2 tries in the space of 6 minutes through Rinakama and Curran. Anari Tawala was put through on the pass of Jacob Preston in this southwestern corner at the 22-minute mark. But no further score since then. 3 successful Matt Burton conversions, so 3 from 3 for him. It is the Bulldogs 18, the West Tigers 0, after 63% possession in that first half, Dean Hallertau, and 80% completion for both sides.
Yeah, well, obviously there was a fast start from the Bulldogs and a great opening kick from Sean O'Sullivan, or more so just a bit of a lapse in concentration from Jareem Buller to let that ball go over the sideline. It really got things going early for the Bulldogs, and they certainly had confidence going on from there, and they were able to run in some quick tries following that. The Tigers, yeah, like I said, they missed the jump. Matty Elliott mentioned that the Bulldogs were rolling down the field quite comfortably through the middle third. They were just picking them apart. And I mentioned about Lockie Galvin. He's had a number of runs already in this game, and every time he's carried it, he's gone straight into the meat of the middle defence and looked fearless. So that's a worry when your middle defence is taking the halfback through, carrying the ball as easily as he was. You got to readjust your attitude. It took them a while to sort of get themselves into the match, the Tigers, but they were barely there. And in attack, I think you mentioned that they never went past the 30-metre line. There was a few kicks that they got got over the line, but certainly in terms of attacking play with the ball in hand, it just wasn't there for the Tigers. So a lot for them to talk about at half-time if they want to get back the 18 points that they've let the Dogs get in.
They've had twice the number of runs in that first half already. They've had 3 line breaks to nil, tackle breaks to plus 12 the Bulldogs' way, which means a lot of missed tackles for the Tigers as well. 18 missed tackles for West Tigers in that first half all up. 7 errors to 6, penalty count 2-0 Tigers, set restarts 3-1 all up. And I'll just look down here as well because there was also the matter of a report that was made to Macassini. I think it was for a high shot in the 13th minute. So the one report made from that first half. Matthew Elliott, without, you say it's repetitious, your analysis on the same old errors for West Tigers, your summation of the first half here at Stadium Australia.
Yeah, I agree with Dean about Lockie Galvin's intent, but if he could get his execution on that left-hand side a little better, there was 3 tries bombed by just past timing in that first half. And I will also say this, I just saw the biggest hit of that half. The West Tigers wellbeing officer Tim Grant just came up and dropped his shoulder into me, and that was probably the heaviest contact from any West Tigers player in that entire 40 minutes.
Great stuff, Matt. More from you after ABC News coming up here. Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0. After earlier in Auckland, the Warriors 20 beat the Dragons 12, and earlier in Canberra, the Raiders 34 beat South Sydney 24. 0467 920 222. A lot of jokes here about the NRL announcing refunds for tonight's game and all that sort of stuff. Rowdy Andy says complete rubbish. This is Z grade. I give up on listening. Don't give up on us, Rowdy Andy, but we're doing our best with what we have. Ans from Levine, hi Spriggy, Dino and Padre, join the calls. Hope the Tigers can make more of a contest of this match in the second 40. Well, they couldn't be much worse, is probably the way I'd put it. There is another text here. Gear Steward, thank you, says Spriggy, $4.80 change regarding the 20 cents value of the game, not the $5 billion, which is what one correspondent said earlier. Phil at the Gong said, I enjoy watching rugby league and increasingly enjoy listening to your call and insights into the games you call, whether while watching and listening or just listening without the video. Derek from Glebe says, another solid performance by the Saints today across the ditch. Is it enough for Young to keep his job? That was what MC was sort of contemplating with the boys. We'll get the wrap of that game later on. Of course, it appears like a 2-horse race with Dean Young and Ben Hornby at St George Illawarra. There was one text here. Dave in the ACT, it's cold here in Canberra. The knees are raking, the back is rickety, and a lot of other parts aren't working like they used to do, but happy to see sitting here, hugging the heat up, listening to the 18 calling the game. Thank you. Scott, Tamati in Scott's head, when your leader is going to para, what does that do to your team, Dean and Matthew? It must have an effect. I'm keen to get Matt's thoughts. We'll get him after news, but what are the whole Jerome Luai saga?
Yeah, look, it's you sort of think back to what Jerome said about what he wants to do with the club, and obviously being really passionate about being a West Tigers player, and then you skip forward 12 months and he signed a deal to go to to PNG, and then all this sort of stuff kicks up over the last few weeks. So it's going to disrupt you. You can't ignore it as a player. There's a lot of outside noise.
Yeah.
You can't switch off from it. It's very hard to do. It's a human nature to pay attention. So it has an effect, no doubt. I'm not inside the wall, so I don't know what those conversations are like, but there is impact.
Mark says, listen to your game normally on a Saturday night in front of the cosy fire at Mystery Bay. Enjoying it tonight at a wet, wild and windy Lennox Head in our camper van, and not too happy about the score. Thank you, Mark, for your text. Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0. Round the grounds quickly in the AFL second quarter at the MCG. Carlton 29 leads Collingwood 25, and in Perth, the first quarter, West Coast Eagles 31 lead the Brisbane Lions 10. In the rugby in Perth, the Wallabies 19 leads Italy 0 in that first half. So that's available, the full call of that via ABC Sports Extra, via ABC Listen, or on digital radio as well. I love this. They're doing the Bulldogs cheerleaders with their alumni. So the past cheerleaders, they did this last year, I think, during one of those premiership reunions. They had the the dancers from that era, so 30 years ago. Now it's all the past ones that are available have come to be a part of this with the current crop of Bulldogs cheerleaders, and they're doing a nice little halftime show.
Yeah, good on her. Darcy McDonald, the
she's
Bulldogs
out there.
manager, who was a former Bulldogs cheerleader. She's out there as well. I think she was a bit nervous about doing it.
Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0. Right now it's time for ABC News.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rollins. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has strongly criticised views expressed by One Nation Senator Malcolm Roberts. The ABC has revealed that Senator Roberts falsely claimed COVID-19 vaccination dramatically increased miscarriage rates, contradicting medical evidence. The previously unreported remarks were made during a live stream discussion with prominent Australian anti-vaccine mandate activists. Mr Albanese says that Roberts has a history of promoting conspiracy theories.
Saying things that were simply not true, in many cases saying things that are dangerous, such as being anti-vaccination. His views are not worthy of being a senator.
Officials in Kuwait say a fire has broken out at a power generation and water desalination plant after an Iranian attack. Larry Buttrose has more.
Officials say several power generation units were shut down after the attack. They say efforts are underway to contain the fire and carry out repairs. Earlier, Kuwait closed its airspace and rescheduled flights following attacks by Iranian missiles and drones. Officials in Bahrain say their forces have also been intercepting Iranian aerial attacks. The Iranian launches on US Gulf allies follow a seventh consecutive day of US strikes on Iran, the latest targeting the central city of Yurts, as well as renewed attacks in the south and near the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian officials say 8 people have died in the latest US strikes.
Authorities in Laos are being urged to enforce harsher punishment on those responsible for a 2024 mass methanol poisoning incident that killed 6 tourists, including 2 young Australians. As Sasha Payne reports, the Australian government wants more done, and the victims' families say they're outraged.
They said ahead of the charges that they were too lenient, that no one's been accountable for their beloved children's deaths. The Australian government has also expressed its disappointment. They have increased their travel advice warnings to level 2, saying that travellers should exercise a high degree of caution in the country. They've specifically mentioned the risk of methanol poisoning and a lack of transparency in the justice system.
Pressure is mounting on the federal government to scrap its job-ready graduate scheme as expensive university degrees make it harder for young Australians to buy a home. With the details, here's Patricia Tiano.
Under the 2021 program, nursing, computing, teaching and engineering degrees were made cheaper to incentivize students to study in fields the government deemed a priority, while the cost of humanities, arts and law degrees shot up dramatically. Education Minister Jason Clare acknowledges the scheme failed, but hasn't acted, saying he's awaiting advice from the Tertiary Education Commission, which is conducting a broader review into university expenditure. 300,000 domestic students are estimated to be enrolled in the most expensive degrees next year, paying minimum yearly contributions of over $18,000.
A southern Tasmanian man is in hospital after being bitten by a shark at Bruny Island in Tasmania South. Jasmine Snow takes up the story.
A 31-year-old man had been diving this morning with 2 other people at a depth of 8 metres, approximately 50 metres offshore from Coal Point, Adventure Bay on Bruny Island. He was bitten on the forearm by what is believed to be a 2-metre-long broad-nosed 7-gill shark. The man was able to return to shore and was assisted by fellow divers who contacted emergency services this morning about 9 o'clock. Police Inspector Darren Latham says the man sustained non-life-threatening injuries to his lower forearm and was flown by a rescue helicopter to the Royal Hobart Hospital in a stable condition. Police are patrolling the area by boat and have not seen any further sightings of the shark.
And police say although it seems to be an isolated incident, swimmers and divers in the area are asked to stay vigilant. A 19-year-old driver has suffered minor injuries after his car ended up in the sea in Bowen in North Queensland. Police say the man drove his four-wheel drive off the end of the Soldiers Road in the town's north, coming to rest on its driver's side in knee-deep water at around 7:30 this morning. Police say the driver suffered a medical episode. The Queensland Fire Department says the man was already out of the car when the swift water search personnel arrived for him. This is ABC News.
Get ready for a year of Test cricket like you've never heard before.
Hits him hard and high, straight back down the ground for six.
That's an amazing shot. 12 months, 20 Test matches. New Zealand at home over summer. The 3 most iconic overseas tours. The 150th anniversary Test under lights at the MCG. And it all begins August 13 with Australia versus Bangladesh on ABC Listen. ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
And a kick from O'Sullivan to win the set. It'll bounce down towards about 5 away from the corner post. 40-20. I don't know what he was thinking out there, Jareen Buller, as he just ushered that ball toward the eastern touchline. That is a successful 40-20 there from Sean O'Sullivan. They bring it across left-hand side. Salmon to O'Sullivan. Burton off here in the corner. And Rinakama scores the try. So, on the back of the 40-20, the perfect start for the Bulldogs. 4-0 Canterbury, kick to come after just 2 minutes at Stadium Australia. Dogs waste no time. Right to left they go. Kick from Galvin, who's chasing at the in-goal area. And Curran just got there. Curran, the big fella, chased that ball from Galvin. Does he ground it clean? I reckon he does. Bulldogs scored 2 tries. A nice arrow celebration as well from Josh Curran, who's starting at lock tonight. Play it 15 out. Bailey Hayward looks to his right now for O'Sullivan. Off to Galvin, to Preston. Big wall of defence there. Offload comes though for Tuala, who's reaching in that western corner and scores the try. Well, the shift was backing across here for Canterbury, but Tuala in that southwestern corner scores the try. Their 3rd try of the game. 16-0, kick to come Doggies with 17 left in the first half.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio
and ABC Listen.
Yeah, 3 tries for an 18-0 scoreline. It could have almost been worse for West Tigers after the first 40 minutes here at Stadium Australia. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside former Bulldog and Tiger Dean Hallertau and former player and coach and best-selling author and TED Talk speaker Matthew Elliott. The Tigers make their way out of the sheds to see if they've come with more intent in this second half. You can keep your texts coming, 0467 920 222. Rowdy Andy, thank you for your text. Trace from Gippy, as MC would say, the Eels have thought to get a parachute to win a comp, and that's Jerome. Well, you do hear about parachute players, right? You get if you're in the right window for your team to win a comp, you parachute those sort of players in for a couple of years. But yes, in case you missed it, you can see the video on our ABC Sports socials, the little head-to-head between our own Michael Garianis and Michael Maguire, the Broncos coach, in which MC explained his terminology of someone like Madge being a parachute coach. He comes in, wins a comp, and then kind of, I don't know, I guess moves on, which is where some of the heat's. He
explained it pretty flatly, didn't he?
Yeah, so maybe being a parachute coach is not sort of, is at odds with longevity, I suppose, is what MC's trying to say. Thank you, Tracy, for your text. James in Bundy says, great call as always. I predict another 0 for the Tigers. Biggest paid player brings nothing to the team at all. All the focus has been on Buller being back. What does that say about Tigers' mentality? Good luck, Parramatta and PNG. Former West Tigers. Oh, no.
Former.
James has really come on. Filthy Phil does sound very filthy tonight, by the way. He sent a few texts. I'm upset. No effort, no improvement, no lessons learned. Embarrassing mob. Let's see if they can turn it around here. West Tigers in this second half. Canterbury 18-0 their lead. Dogs to kick off. Tigers to have first use. It took them 4.5 minutes to get the footy in the first half. As you heard the highlights there coming back from ABC News. But West Tigers will have the footy here running north-south in this second half of footy. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport with Brett Sprigg alongside Dean Hallertau and Matthew Elliott. 25 out here on tackle 2, the Tigers. Caroyce out to his right-hand side. It ends up here with Adam Dewey. Kick out, drags him back here 25 out, 20 in from the western side. Still inside their own half here. West Tigers on tackle 4. Carousel goes nowhere. Now it will be second last here, 30 out. Fed across to Latu Fainu, and now Luai to Jareen Buller. He dummy, steps on the outside there of Lockie Galvin and stopped now 40 out. Dummy half Luai, all send it across here. Little toe poke does come from Adam Dewey. Bounce down towards Connor Tracy. The Bulldogs fullback gathers and now returns it to the 30-metre line for the Bulldogs. 18-0 their lead after the first 60 seconds of this second half. NRL Saturday here on ABC Sport. We're in a Karma. The run here on tackle 2 of this set for the Dogs. Their first of this second half. Across it comes to Matt Burton. Makes a half break here before some more desperate tackles come front on from Starford Toa. He'll play it 5 shy of the halfway, Burton. Dummy half O'Sullivan. Across here now to Salmon out there for the Bulldogs, who's tackled on the halfway. In fact, it is Harry Hayes. Played it Bailey Hayward across to O'Sullivan. And now Galvin off here to Preston, who stands in the tackle of Samuela and Sione Fainu, 40 out. Does come back here for O'Sullivan. Up goes the kick to end the set. Taken down there by Jareen Buller on his own 10-metre line. And Galvin and Carraz get him 18 out from that northern end. It remains Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0.
Yeah, it's been a pretty steady start from both teams in the second half. Just trying to figure out what Latu Fainu is doing since he came on in the first half. It looks like he's defending as a right edge back rower, but he's playing in the middle as a distributor, and then his brother Sione is going back out to play on the edge.
40 out from their own line here. Midway through this set, West Tigers. Dewey, across it comes here as Starford Toa hits the ball at pace and now is inside Bulldogs territory. And it will be second last play here for the Tigers. Already a couple of good sets in this second half compared to certainly the first. Surrounded down there is Fanua Bolle by a wall of Canterbury defenders. They come left-hand side. Latu Fainu shares it with Luai. Flat ball here. Back to Samuela Fainu. Now again it comes Makasini, and now an off-balance kick from the winger Sunia Taruva. Regathered here by the Bulldogs and Connor Tracy. Setting the pass across on the bouncer Rinakama, and he tries to steamroll Adam Dewey here. And he'll play at 17 out, 20 in from the western side. It remains Bulldogs 18, Tigers 0. We'll get to Matthew Elliott very shortly when we get a chance, but it's been end-to-end stuff in the second half so far. Played by Burton. O'Sullivan from dummy half off to Tracy, and now 12 tackles him. 40 out centre field here for the Bulldogs. Bailey Hayward across to his right now on tackle 4 for Galvin. They keep shifting to the right-hand side, and Jerome Luai wraps up Anari Tuwala. And now they try to get something going here with Jacob Preston. His second game back. Jacob Preston, after the broken arm, came off the bench last week, starting tonight. Comes across here now for Tuwala. Now a little kick from Carraz in centre field, picked off by Jareen Buller, and he makes a little post-contact gain here, and is 32 out from his own line before he plays it. Makasini on that far side brings it infield, 40 out from his own line. Croysau, left to right they come here, the Tigers, trying to find their first points of this game. It's knocked down there by Rinakama. Should be regathered here by Tigers, and it will be eventually by Starford Toa, who's ready out to touch. But we'll come back here because it was the call made by the referee. So it will be a West Tigers scrum feed, 40 out from their own line. Let's head to the touchline for the first time in this second half. Matthew Elliott.
Yeah, Benji Marshall's half-time address was quite obvious that his eyes work. He asked them to play with some purpose and some belief and passion, and they certainly come out of the sheds in a far better shape than their first 2 sets. The Bulldogs, they just need to keep their foot on the throat. That was Cameron Sheraldo's message.
Here comes the shift for the West Tigers across that left-hand side. Taruva gets away from Anari Tuwala, escapes the clutches there of Jamin Salmon, and now we'll play it 5 metres inside Canterbury territory for Caroysau. Off here to Alex Twal, straight into Curran and also Hayes. He's only played 2 here, so it's their best set of the game so far, I'd say, even after 2 tackles. 40 out from that southern line. Caroysau back to his right-hand side, Latu Fainu, and now Dewey. More run coming on this right-hand side from Jareen Buller, and the fullback is tackled by Burton, 35 out. Picked picked up a dummy half by Dewey. Shares it with Latu Fainu. And Curran gets him around the legs. Up top, Bailey Haywood. It's Bolle underneath all of that. Plays it now. Latu Fainu onto Jerome Luai. And now a strong one up that left edge from Samuel Fainu. He's 19 out, 20 in from that far side. Last play Tigers. Short side they come. Dewey off to Jerome Luai. Steps infield. Plays out the offload back for Dewey. Little toe poke here. Fielded by Curran. The Dogs turn defence into attack. They keep an 18-0 lead. 6 minutes played, second half, when ABC Sport beat Hallertau.
There's great cover there by Curran in behind. He recognised that they needed to get a kick away. There was a lot of defenders up in front, so he peels off the back, comes up with a really nice pickup, and gets his team out of trouble.
Right to left, they swing it across here, the Bulldogs. As Rena Karma is now taken by Starford Toa. 20 out, play it now. Max King on the angled run. Again, Toa's involved, so too Sione Fainu. 30 out from their own line here. Galvin across to Thompson, knocks on here for the Bulldogs, and that will be coming back here for a West Tigers scrum feed 40 metres out from that southern goal line. We've played 6.5 minutes in this second half so far. Yeah, a lot of text coming through about, Jerome Luai, and I want to save those for post-game, because I want to chat with you and Matt up here in the box. Matt's my, leadership and culture guy. I want us to discuss those things in depth with Matty post-game. We'll wrap up the Saturday of NRL round 20 and NRLW round 3. I'll take the scrum here, the Tigers, 10 metres in from that western side. As I said, 40 out from that southern line.
Yeah, Latu Fainu in the last couple of sets, he's been really direct and playing those nice passes on the sweep line out the back to find his halves, and he looks the most likely to create some opportunities out wide. So the more he's involved, I think, from the Tigers, the better.
Around the grounds in the AFL, half-time at the MCG. Collingwood 38 leads Carlton 30. In Perth quarter time, West Coast 32 leads Brisbane 17. Late first half in Perth, Wallabies 24 leads Italy 5. A full call available via ABC Sports Extra. Played by Fanua Bolle. Croissau comes short side right. Latu Fainu. And wasn't the best option to pass in close to Alex Twal, who made no real gain here. 30 out from the Bulldogs line. Inside ball comes back to Fanua Bolle on tackle 3. And the Wellington-born, Melbourne-raised forward for the West Tigers plays it now. Comes to Dewey, and now Twal. In fact, out there is Ethan Roberts for West Tigers, so he's getting his first carry. Plays it 20 out. Low ball, Jerome Luai. Buller off to Macassini. And the Bulldogs defence all over him. 9 metres out. Left-hand side of the post. Tigers going for that southern goal line. They trail 18 points to 0. Jerome Luai got an awkward pass here for an even more awkward kick from Samuel Fainu, and will be coming back here in the hands of the Bulldogs. They're arguing the point here with the touchy. Tyson Bruff blowing time off. And
Captain's challenge. I've got to kick Tigers. They're challenging that it was touched by the Dogs and 6 more.
Okay, so we'll see if this little very deft Samuel Fainu kick came to something as far as being played at by the Bulldogs.
Baller's kick is not played at by Max King. It's still in the last tackle.
And then it was dived on again by Samuel Fainu.
It's just going to be a tackle.
Making sure there's no accidental offside after the ball comes off Max King. Just go.
Fine of the bunker.
It's really hard to see.
After coming off Max King, Jacob Preston is behind him anyway.
Kick on.
And the tackle is then complete on the last tackle. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Challenge unsuccessful. It's going to be a changeover.
So, Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0. No change to our halftime score, by the way, inside these first 9 minutes of the second half. Back to the touchline, Matthew Elliott.
Well, again, the last 2 sets from the West Tigers are by far their best in this game so far. They just need to get a little bit of better execution on their last plays, because their last 2 plays have not put any pressure on the opposition at all.
The West Tigers bench bench complete, by the way. So I mentioned Karoisau, Fanua Bole, Latu Fanu, and Ethan Roberts now off the bench. So that's their 4 interchange players used. The Dogs have used Harry Hayes and Viliami Kikau so far, and that's it, I think, so far for Cameron Ciraldo. 30 out, 20 in here. Bailey Haywood off here now again for the run of Harry Hayes, who's met 40 out from his own line. Bailey Haywood, he's on here on tackle 4. Early kick does come myself for the 40-20. Here it is. Second for the game for Sean O'Sullivan, 40-20. And then again, that was just a poor read from the West Tigers. They'll give the Bulldogs some ball, about 15 out from that northern goal line to add to their 18-0 lead.
Yeah, great piece of skill there from Sean O'Sullivan. He got the swing on the ball. He had a bit of an outswing and had the spin going the way it wanted to. So, he picked a really good moment, gets his second for the match. Doreen Buller will be kicking himself. He's not in the position where he needs to be, but hard to stop.
Tap here through Bailey Haywood. Now Max King brings within 10 metres of that West Tigers line. 18-0 with the Canterbury Bankstown lead. Haywood back on the inside now. Galvin finds Preston, almost gets there himself. He's a metre shy here, right-hand side of the post. Bailey Haywood across now again for Hayes. O'Sullivan off to kick out. He steps for the corner, shares it with Rinakama. He was dragged in touch by Gerald Skelton on this near side. So not quite the finish that time for the Doggies, who still lead 18 points to 0. NRL Saturday on ABC Sports.
Good work there from Skelton. Trusted the inside man. It was a bit of a mismatch. Viliami Kikau on Stafford Toa, but he gives him enough space. He throws the pass and then he backs it up with some good contact on Rinakama over the sideline.
Mohammed from Brisbane. Raiders are coming. What's your opinion, guys, about the Raiders making the top 8? Sad to lose Hudson Young, but I hope my Raiders make the finals. Can't see it happening, but it was a good win for them today against South Sydney. 20 out, 20 in from that far side. And here goes Karoisau. Makes the break here over the 30. We'll play it now for Jerome Luai. No look pass off to Sunia Taruva, who, by the way, as a winger, has not scored a try since a hat-trick in round 6. He's played every game, Sunia Taruva, and scored. I know that wingers often don't always get involved, especially if the side's not going so well, but that's a try-scoring drought for a winger. He's played every game of the year, not scored since his 3 tries in round 6. Metre inside Bulldogs territory. Played across by Jerome Buller. Inside ball comes from Dewey to Terrell May, and he's brought to the turf by Harry Hayes. 40 out, 20 in from the western side in the Canterbury Bankstown half. High kick from Dewey. Sets a task for Connor Tracy. Takes a clean catch, controlled to his chest, and returns it to his own 20-metre line for the Berries, who lead 18-0. 12 gone, second half. NRL Saturday here on ABC Sport with Brett Sprigg alongside Dean Hallertau, who played both of these clubs, and Matthew Elliott with us on the sideline. Back to him very shortly. Here's Nari Tawala on tackle 3. Make it 4 now for the Bulldogs. Leo Thompson, centre field run, gains 9, 10. Put down there by Fanua Bole. Play at 40 out from that southern goal line. Second last play of the set now for Canterbury. Max King only gains half a dozen. Hand in the air from referee Tyson Bruff. Play to Bailey Haywood. Left-hand side they come now for the O'Sullivan kick. Down to the 10-metre line, where it's caught by Jereen Buller and Matt Burton. And kick out, nail him, 15 out from that northern line. Tigers back on the attack. Stafford Toa now. In fact, it's Gerald Skelton got it from Tua through centre field, and Gerald Skelton will play at 25 out early in the set here for Benji Marshall's West Tigers. Karoisau looks blindside right now for Stafford Toa in his 91st NRL game. Karoisau back to Dewey. After 3 tackles, Jerome Luai off here to a strong run on that far side from Samuela Fainu. Now they go right-hand side again on that short side of the ground. The Dogs' defence this time stopping the run of Jereen Buller. Karoisau off to Dewey. Puts up a high spiralling bomb here for Connor Tracy. Takes the catch on the wing, 20 out from his own line, and he's collared eventually down there. He'll play it. The Dogs will start their next set and keep an 18-0 lead. So 13 going second half and no change to our halftime score. Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
Well, I was critical of the first 40 minutes. I've got to say the start of the second half from both teams has been very methodical but also entertaining. So we're starting to move towards a high-quality game of footy here, Spriggy.
Methodical, entertaining, high-quality. all adjectives I used to describe you as well, Matthew, which is fantastic. 14 gone second half. Dogs on the attack here. Still heading inside their own 30-metre line. Bailey Haywood off to the right-hand side. And now Max King runs straight into Fanua Bolle, who scored a try last time these sides met here 2 years ago. A reminder, of course, the Tigers are yet to taste victory in their last 10 visits to the grand final venue. High it goes down towards the West Tigers line, taken by Jareem Buller at the end of that Canterbury Bankstown set, and the fullback is set upon there by Thompson and co for the Bulldogs. It comes across to Macassini, and he gets over his own 30-metre line and will play at 20 in from the eastern side. Still Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0, 15 gone, 25 left in this second half in this methodical and only slightly more entertaining second half at Stadium Australia. It comes to Ethan Roberts, of course, on only his second game. Debuted against Manly around 11, the Roosters junior, and part of the Indigenous All-Stars squad last year. Jerome Luai, collared there by O'Sullivan, now 40 out for the Tigers here on last play. Croysau shifts it across to the right-hand side, Dewey to Roberts. Off here for Stafford-Toa, ugly pass. Gets it off here to Skelton. His kick goes down the line for Kickout, who gets there first for the Bulldogs, and they'll start their next set, 11 out from their own line, with an 18-0 lead. As I said, 15 gone, 25 left in this second half. Ben Hallertown.
Yeah, well, I've got to agree with you both. It's been a lot more consistent from both teams in the second half. The Tigers in particular, they've moved it up a pretty big notch in the way that they're playing. I feel like this next period is really important. A penalty or an error is really going to invite the opposition in.
Dummy half Bailey Haywood across here again to Carraz, and he dummies the offload and then just sort of takes the contact, 20 out, make it 30 out from his own line. Tracy sent a hot pass across for Tuala, and all Tuala could do was just get a hand to it as it goes out over the eastern touchline. So a Tigers ball, 40 out from that southern line, like that, Dean, maybe. Tigers get some possession now, some field position. So sad, no oomph from the Tigers, says Tony from Mingara. Krista from Shoalwater in WA, thanks for the great call. What has the Padre brought to sideline commentator fashion? We hear about how many layers Jonty Gibbs wears and the colour of Zane's shorts. What has the Padre added? He's a fairly conservative fella, isn't he, Padre? He's not, anyway. We'll get to him very shortly. 40 out here. Sorry, Matt. We'll get the playback underway here as the Tigers are attacking through centre field. Brought down ball and all this for Fanua Bolle. Played to Croysau. Across for Dewey. Again, the passer that goes behind Luai and out there for Jareem Buller, who has slowed right down. Jareem Buller's re-signed until 2030. Of course, plays for Fiji. He's electric on his day. He made a costly error in the first set of the game, misreading a Sean O'Sullivan 40-20, which resulted in the first try of the game. Through hands it comes to Dewey on tackle 3 here for the Tigers. Left to right now, back to the left now. Jerome Luai left behind there now for Samuela Fainu, and he's inside 20. South end of the ground. He'll play it now for Croysau. Looks left but goes right for Terrell May. Offloads here for Croysau. Back to Latu Fainu. Left to right, they sweep it across here, Dewey, and now he stands in the Burton tackle, put down, last play, 10 out, right-hand side of the post here for Tigers. Can they get their first points? They trail 18 points to 0. Right to left they come this time. Latu Fainu ends up with Jerome Luai. Ugly ball here, went on the half volley for Sunia Taruva. It was sort of misread on that edge by Macassini initially, and that allows the Bulldogs to regain possession here, 20 out from their own line. Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
I've been saying this for about 10 years now. That's south-east corner of this ground is haunted. There's been about 5 bomb tries down there tonight. Bulldogs did 3. Now West Tigers have come up with 2 down there.
Are you going to do your haunting actions? Some haunting audio, certainly. 40 out from that southern line, and here they go. Lipboy Hotboy's out there, so he's been used off the bench for the Bulldogs. You can mark him down on that final team sheet for Canterbury Bankstown as the high kick ends up in the company of Gerald Skelton. 20 out, 20 in from the western side. 18 gone, 22 left in this second half on ABC Sports. Still no change to our halftime scoreline. Bulldogs 18, Tigers 0, and you are with Brett Sprigg alongside Dean Hallertow and Matthew Elliott. Here's Ethan Roberts. As we mentioned, he's been used off the bench. It's the second time, his second first grade game after his round 11 debut. And they sweep it across the left-hand side. There is Taruva. Run down from behind by Nari Tawala. 40 out here, the Tigers on this second last play. Jerome Luai feeds it back on the inside now for Terrell May. Can't find a gap there. In fact, made a half break there on Leo Thompson. Lipoi Hotboy pushes out the offload back to Croissau. Goes up that blind side here now for the Tigers. Play at 35 out. 20 in from that far side. Last play, Tigers. Another torpedo punt goes high in the air from Adam Dewey. And Renakama takes a comfortable catch. Not so comfortable was his base it, but he actually slips over it. So a big chunk of turf kicked up as well at that south end of Stadium Australia. So 18-0 remains Canterbury's lead. It's already tackled 3 here inside their own 10-metre line. Back to Connor Tracy. Can he give him some yardage in this set? No, he's met by Latu Fino. 15 out from the southern uprights. Bailey Haywood now for Carraz. He runs into Latu Fino. Ball somehow jars free back for Galvin. Ref will say it was lost forward by Canterbury Bankstown. So it will be West Tigers ball here. 25 out from that southern line. It remains the Bulldogs 18, the Tigers 0. NRL Saturday here on ABC Sport.
Yeah, he gets the arm free. It looks like he's attempting an offload, but then he bobbles into a Tigers player and then it shuffles out the back. So the right call made by the referee there. And the Tigers, once again, off the back of a Bulldogs error, are going to get a chance playing some good ball. They're a bit clunky in that last set. They almost got half an opportunity at the end. Let's see if they can string something together here.
One texter here points out Truman scored 4 for the season. Yeah, he scored 3 tries in one game in round 6. And one other try, I think, which is in round 1 or round 2 before that. So it's been a fair while since his last points sitting at Taruva. Tigers here position well, though. Played by Bolle, 25 out. Croissau looks to his right now for Terrell May. Bailey Haywood tackles him. 17 out right-hand side of the sticks. Croissau to his left. Latu Fino. Now Jerome Luai. Double pump here across to Macassini. Goes to the line here, wrapped up by Galvin. There's a reach from Macassini. Is he held up? He is, says the ref. Just shy of the line. Dummy half to Ruva. Off to Luai. Play 4 here for the Tigers. And now Croissau. Set restart Tigers. So a full set inside that 10-metre line at the south end of the ground. Luai across to Dewey. Back on the inside now for Fanua Bolle. Max King gets him initially. Only a few metres shy of those southern goals now. Croissau goes to his right for Dewey. Catch and run. Shared now. 2-star for Toa. Goes to ground. 5 out. Shy of Canterbury's line. Play to Croissau here on tackle 4. Open side left. He comes. Dewey keeps it moving to Luai. Luai kicks off the instep here. Macassini's racing there, but beating him there is Carraz, who knocks it dead. And that will be line drop out. Canterbury, an opportunity here potentially for West Tigers. The Bulldogs still lead though, 18-0. 18-40 left in this game.
Yeah, closest they've got so far. Macassini on the far side, that southeast corner that Matthew was talking about before. He gets pulled up short by some good desperation defence of the Bulldogs, and that's one thing they're doing really good, the Bulldogs. Their goal line defence, they're getting a long way up, so they're really cutting off the options for the Tigers.
Neil says, well, Matty's horning sound absolutely terrified our dog. Good on you. Short drop out goes about 15 metres, knocked back by Latu Fino, but there was a bit of touch in there initially, which will be in fact Canterbury's ball. So they'll have it here inside that 20-metre line at the southern end of the ground to protect this 18-0 lead. Around the grounds, AFL half-time, still Collingwood 38, Carlton 30, and in the game in Perth, second quarter, West Coast 33 leads Brisbane 25. Half-time in the Rugby, Wallabies 38, Italy 5 at Perth Oval, where there's a game in a couple of weeks' time, actually, when Manly plays Melbourne. The last NRL game there before the Bears call it home in 2027. So can't wait to head across there with Matty Elliott. In fact, I can't wait for that. Going to Matthew shortly here at Stadium Australia, where it's 17.5 minutes left. Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0. Bulldogs on the attack on this run from Viliami kick-out. Play at 30 out. Bailey Haywood across here to his right-hand side. Max King on a straight run here. But 3 West Tigers stop him 40 out. Bailey Haywood goes across to his right-hand side now for Lipoi Hotboy. Had 6 games in 2024, 4 games last year. That's his 6th game this year. So he's got at least one of his better tallies of games. And now a dangerous tackle there on Leo Thompson. There's some remonstration going on here. I don't know who the most guilty party here was shot, but it'll be penalty going Bulldogs' way.
It's Latu Fonu, but he gets low. This is a real sort of common technique of his. Latu Fonu gets right down. He's on one knee. Trips him over the top of it.
Yeah, he goes at the knees of Leo Thompson. As a result, he somersaults Thompson onto his shoulder. He's okay, but of course that can be a very dangerous action.
Yeah, it's obviously not a lifting tackle, but he ends up in a dangerous position. And Jerome Law, obviously unorthodox and not something we see regularly, so he's having a conversation now with him.
That'll be a report made, I'm sure. Let's have a listen here to what the ref's saying to Jerome Law.
There's something bigger by the time we're taking.
Latu.
He's been called out by referee Tyson Bruff.
There's no attempt to rat, and you've come in dangerously, and it puts you in dangerous position. You're on report, and you're in the ball.
There we go. So down a man for 10 minutes. Much to the cheers here of the Canterbury fans. This makes life even tougher for West Tigers, who already trail 18-0. And despite no score in this second half so far, that will make this second half even tougher for them. And Matthew, you couldn't really argue too much that decision there from referee Tyson Bruff.
I think it's a really tough call. I'll be honest with you. He was in front of the player. He didn't lift. He went down low. He hit him just above the knee, and he flipped over the top of him. He didn't do it intentionally. It was the ball carrier that actually had the biggest impact on that. That's my opinion.
Fair enough. By the way, Adam Dewey on report for these reports weren't too notable because they didn't see it live. We'll keep missing those anyway. So there we go. Canterbury 18, West Tigers 0, but that's the third report made in the game. So Adam Dewey also on report from their incident in this second half, and they're going to go from long range here. Matt Burton has the ball on the tee, 42 metres out, directly in front. If anyone can, he certainly can. To put the game beyond 3 converted tries the difference, and Matt Burton does just that. It just sails over the black dot. 4 out of 4 for Matt Burton with those 3 conversions and now 1 penalty, and makes it Canterbury 20, West Tigers 0, the scoreline here in a game which will not go down as a classic at Stadium Australia on this Saturday night.
They're far from a classic, you could say. Obviously, it's been a slow second half on the scoreboard, but definitely a lot of more impressive football played by both teams, but it has been slow, and you want the game to sort of burst open, create a bit of excitement, but it's a little bit flat, I'm going to say, at the moment.
Get to your text post-game, 0467920222. Bulldogs 20, West Tigers 0. Short kick-off taken here, and then knocked on at ground level. In fact, it was knocked on through the air, first of all, by the West Tigers, and that will give more possession yet to the Bulldogs. 35 out from their own line. Across the game so far, possession's come back to a more even-ish 55% from where it was after the first 15-20 minutes, but completions have dropped off as well for the Bulldogs, so they're down to 76% completion rate across the game versus 89% for the Tigers. As I say, it'll be somewhat methodical from the Dogs, this result. 20 points to 0. By the way, 20,050, the crowd here tonight in round 20 for the Bulldogs. We'll be back here against the Warriors in the 5:30 game next Saturday. Macassini tackles Kiraz here on tackle 2 of this set. There's a blindside run here from Bailey Haywood, dummy half. 25 out from the West Tigers line. Opportunity for more points here for the Bulldogs. Through hands it comes to kick out. Now Tracy, pop back here for Burton. He goes for a run into the corner, steps on the inside of the defence and scores. In the end, a pretty simple try for the Bulldogs. A nice arrow celebration from Matt Burton as well. He's had 4 successful goal kicks tonight, and now 4 points as he crosses that northern goal line for the Bulldogs. 24 points to 0, and kick to come, Doggies, still with 13 to 40 left in the game. Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, he's made it a home for himself in that centre position. I know that he's got his own expectations of being a 5'8", and he's been sort of moved around a lot, but I feel like he's slotting in nicely to that left centre position. He runs so strong with the ball, and right here on the end of a nice backline movement, through across the middle from from all the way the other side of the field for a number of sets of hands. William Kikau again, showing good touch for a big man. He gets the ball, a bit of a bad pass, so he spins around back into the line and then just pops it out the back, buys enough time for his outside man in Burton to get a clean run to the line, and he just pins the ears and takes on the cover defence.
Touchline we go, Matthew Elliott.
Perfectly described. I guess the thing that made that play was the short side steal down the eastern side of the ground. There was a run for about 15 metres and a quick play the ball, and that allowed that shift all the way back to the left-hand side. And Kikau's little bit of poise there was awesome. I'm just watching Matt Burton in my jeans and parka, by the way.
Beautiful.
Don't watch him just hit it straight over the
Don't make the spooky horny noises from Matt Burton down there. 27 metres out. 27 metres out, a metre in from the western side, right runner Matthew Elliott, which might spook him. He's 4 from 4 so far tonight from all kinds of angles and distances. Matt Burton, the left-footed kicker, and again, he makes no mistakes. Perfect. We saw some shocking kicking at Brookvale last week from both sides, Manly and the Cowboys. This has been superb from Matt Burton. He's 5 from 5, 4 conversions, 1 penalty to make it 26-0. Canterbury Bankstown over West Tigers here, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. So Burton converting his own try for 5 out of 5. And by the way, there's a little milestone in play here. So there's still, 5:40 left of the Latu Whainu sin bin and 12 minutes of game time left. If the Bulldogs score 3 more tries, they'll bring up 6,000 tries all time in club history. So you're talking about, 90 years of, they come in, 30s, 35?
35.
So anyway, there's a little sort of random milestone, which I didn't count all the tries individually, thanks to, Mido and those people do all the stats. 8 short of the halfway here. From dummy half. Gordy Chan Kum Tong. So he's making his first appearance as a Bulldog, a former Seagull, of course. So wearing number 20. Gordon Chan Kum Tong out there at dummy half. And now Viliami Kikau back in the side this week and now forced back in a 3-man tackle. Will play it 40 out, 20 in from the western side here. On tackle 3 now for the Bulldogs. 26-0 their lead. Now it's been lost by Bailey Haywood. And referee Tyson Bruff says we'll set it back here for West Tigers on that 40-metre line on end of Stadium Australia.
He's been too used to picking the ball up off the ground. Bailey Haywood, he gets one out in front. It was a decent ball from dummy half, and Gordon Chan Kum Tong, but comes up with the error right in the middle of the field. And again, the Tigers, they're just sort of slowly getting themselves into position. That lack of intensity that we've seen early on in the game has crept back in a little bit for them.
Around the grounds, AFL third quarter, Collingwood 44 leads Carlton 30. In Perth, second quarter, West Coast 34 leads Brisbane 31. West Tigers scrum feed here at Stadium Australia. Jerome Luai tackled on that far side by Lockie Galvin, 6 short of the halfway. Ball comes back here for Samuel Fainu. Had a recent foot injury, Samuel Fainu. Their only try scorer last week in that loss to the New Zealand Warriors. The Tigers have, will be soon to make it 5 straight defeats, 6 of their past 7, 9 of their past 11, to sort of contextualise this mid-season slump after a fairly impressive start to the season at least. Adam Dewey now will come back here as there is a bit of afters here on that last play with jerseys being grabbed and referee Tyson Bruff blowing time off. It'll be a penalty here going the way of West Tigers, but this seems like what triggered this little melee, which is now dispersing.
I think the penalty is going to be for an obstruction, I believe. Ethan Roberts kind of stood in the line as Dewey tried to make some ground. So I think that's maybe what the initial blow-up was from. Although actually, no, he has picked up the knock. Maybe 12 actually had a strike there at
So this is Jamin Salmon. It's 12 definitely gets him with an open palm to the head of Jamin Salmon. So that's the most controversial contact here. Let's have a listen.
And that's an open. Yeah, and he strikes him, mate. Mapping, bring out Alex 12.
Bring Alex 12, here we go. So with 10 minutes left, there's still 3:40 left of the Latu Whainu sin bin. Referee Tyson Bruff, Alex 12.
Strike, totally unnecessary, go to the middle.
With It's in the bin.
It's really uncharacteristic from Alex Tall. That's not his go. He's a mild-mannered guy. He plays the game hard but fair.
You might say indicative of the frustration that the West Tigers are experiencing, both their players, fans, everyone, because I'm seeing on our text line, I'll get to that later on, but Alex Twal will sit for 10, which there's not much game time left either, so 10 and a half minutes left in the game, and still 3:40 left in the Latu Fono Sydney. We're down to 13 on 11 as far as those two men being off the ground for West Tigers. It remains 26-0 Canterbury scoreline here as they find touch on the western side, not far away from you, Matthew Elliott.
Yeah, Alex Twoll, as you said, doesn't often show those sort of emotions, but he actually wanted to go back after he was sin binned and have another discussion with Jamie Salmon, so it's called losing it.
Yes. You wouldn't lose it, would you, Matthew?
Once.
So here are the Bulldogs here. So more points beckoning here, you would think. Played a left by Hot Boy. Gordon Shan Kum Tong. Dummies right, goes left here. Curran, and now Burton gets the 10-metre line. Taken down low by Stafford Toa. And up top by Karoisau and Roberts. Play at 10 out, left-hand side of the post. Shan Kum Tong off here now to Galvin. And backing his way in there for the Bulldogs, Max King. 5 out from West Tigers line. Played by the front rower. Chan Kum Tong goes to his left now for Galvin. A kick off the outside of the boot. And now Karoisau might get there first and kill it of that Northern dead ball line. Penalty count, by the way, 2-all in the game after that Alex Twal sin bin for the open palm into the face of Jamin Salmon. And the set restarts have been 3-2 the way of the Bulldogs in this game as well. They've actually made more errors, the Bulldogs. So 12-9 the errors across the game. I guess Tigers have made costly errors, put it that way. 26-0 the Canterbury scoreline.
So the Tigers haven't capitalised on any of the errors that they've got in good ball.
So short drop out here goes 15 metres. It's taken down there by Preston. And the Dogs again will have it 10 metres out from West Tigers line. 8:40 left on the clock. 20,000 plus here at Stadium Australia on this Saturday night fixture. NRL round 20 on ABC Sport. 7 metres shy, left-hand side of the post. It comes Chan Kum Tong heading off to Galvin. And now Tracy. Dummies, he was clobbered there by Samuel Afeno, who's certainly a much bigger man there on the Canterbury fullback. Preston goes from dummy half, only gains a few more steps here on tackle 4. And now we'll play it out in that northeastern corner of the ground. Open side left they come. Galvin shares it with Curran. Off to lead boy Hot Boy and recovered the footy here. And he'll play it in the company of Roberts. It's kicked by the dummy half in Chan Kum Tong. Comes off the Tigers. Bounces back here in their keeping. And again, it was just pounced on by that man, Samuel Afenu. And they'll go back on the attack here. West Tigers, who trail 26-0 on the scoreboard and 13 players on 11 for another minute and a bit here with the Latu Fono sin bin. Alex Twal off the park as well.
It was as tough as it's been for the Tigers tonight. You can't question a guy like Happy Karoisau. That last series of plays, he was responsible for saving them on 2 occasions. So, the veteran hooker, he continues to work tirelessly for his team.
To the right-hand side here is Doreen Buller puts Stafford Toa through a gap, and now Skelton tries to get away, but he's called clear by Josh Curran on that western side NRL logo. Back to Karoisau. It was charged down there by Curran, and it will be pounced on here by Chan Kum Tong, and no one's catching him. He explodes away, Gordon Chan Kum Tong. Offloads back to Curran. He goes the rest of the way and scores onto the post. Well, what was doing there? Gordon Chan Kum Tong was all over it, knew there was a charge down, picked up the loose ball, no one touched him, and he went just about the entire way by himself. Josh Curran finishes it off, and that is just, again, a reminder of how pathetic the Tigers have been tonight and across these past several weeks. 30 points to 0, kick to come Bulldogs with 6:40 left in the game.
Yeah, I think the Tigers stopped because they believe that potentially Chan Kum Tong was in front of Curran when he contacted the ball and charged it down. It was a big play from the headgear wearing back rower from the Dogs, or middle forward from the Dogs. And then Chan Kum Tong, when it's in his hand, he just gets up and starts running. Jareen Buller gives chase. He winds him up pretty well, but the big lob pass is the man that originally started that in Curran, and they get the try into the post. I'm sure this will come back for a review, but good work there from Chan Kum Tong to keep playing to the whistle.
Well, that's the same, play the whistle. So whether it's overturned or not, we'll have a listen to what Tyson Bruff's going to say here, but he's calling out Jerome Luai.
Well, the Tigers need to retire behind the goal line, which they're not doing now.
Boys,
So you're saying it's...
Uppy.
Yeah.
The try's been confirmed.
There we go.
Uppy, I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
It's a high level of frustration for the Tigers.
He gets him back, he gets in front of him and puts him onside. So he runs past the ball, which puts him onside, so he's allowed to put the ball on. That's the decision.
Again, you say, play the whistle. The Tigers didn't do that, and Gordon Chan Kum Tong, who sets up the Josh Curran try, does so here. Touchline, Matthew Elliott.
Two Finhours back on the field, so we're back to 13 on 12, and I reckon that last try and the lead up to it, and the fact that they just watched him dive on the ball and stroll towards the try line, that sums up the night.
It does. Here's Matt Burton. This is his easiest kick yet. He's 5 out of 5. He's nailed the sideline conversions and a 43-metre penalty goal. Here he is directly in front, 10 metres out. Matt Burton to make it 32 points to nil with 5 minutes left, and Alex Twal will continue to sit for 4.5 minutes of those. So the Bulldogs 32, the West Tigers nil here at Stadium Australia, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. 0467920222. You need to say that both teams are pathetic, because I can't believe they pay these players. It hasn't been a high quality game, but someone's going to win it. There was just moments in this game where that particular moment with the West Tigers was horrendous. James says, my prediction was right. How many times can one team score 0 in one season? Must be Tigers in the lead. Maybe Gibbsy with his stats can answer that tomorrow. Yeah, Gibbsy back with Andrew Moore and Luke Lewis tomorrow. They'll be on the Gold Coast. Gibbsy will be in Sydney, but he'll be joining the boys for the usual pre-game fun from midday tomorrow. Short kick-off here. Flying up there, Jareen Buller. Played to Karoisau. Off here now to Terrell May, as Burton did have that 6th successful kick of the night. They need 2 more tries, the Bulldogs, for the 6,000th. Tigers, though, bring it wide here for Gerald Skelton. Throws it back infield, which was forward. And it will be coming back here for more Canterbury ball 10 metres out from that southern goal line here with 4:25 left on the clock. Dean Hallertau.
Yeah, one thing Coach Cameron Ciraldo will be wanting from his team is just to continue to be stingy with their defence and not to give up any points. There's a half a chance there for the Tigers down their right side, but the cover from the Bulldogs turning up in numbers, and the forward pass that's forced. Just watching a replay there, Viliami Kikau gets in a really awkward position, and he winced as he went to ground. He's still clutching at his sort of hip area, sort of in towards the adductor I should say, in a part of his leg, so hopefully he's okay.
Scrum feed Bulldogs, 32 points to nil is their lead.
He's just hanging by the dead ball line there. He's going to be replaced pretty much straight away.
Viliami Kikau, yes, that is concerning. So back from a pec injury, first game since round 8. This might sour the wind somewhat here for the Bulldogs. He's their captain tonight, Viliami Kikau, in the absence of Stephen Crichton. Played by Salmon, off here to Curran, who scored 2 tries tonight. And now Burton's been fantastic. Pass comes to Rinakama. He scored the first try. Off the races, over halfway. They're chasing him. He takes on Buller. He's too quick for Buller. Buller does just get him in front of Western touchline. Popped out the pass here, which eventually did bounce forward in front of Connor Tracy. So that was a nice run from Rinakama that didn't quite result in the try in the end. I thought he had him for for pace there initially, Runakama on Jareen Buller, but he came across there in cover and did very well to take him into touch. So it will be West Tigers ball about 5 metres shy, 5 metres out from that northern goal line here with 2:27 on the clock, and the score remains Canterbury 32, the West Tigers 0.
That was a great run by Runakama. He is very fast. Once he got into open space, he really burnt Skelton and he was off to the races. You thought good cover by Jareen Buller. I thought he actually passed the ball before he contacted the ground.
Same initially, and then I could see on the replay it wasn't. Anyway, so Tigers here inside that 20-metre line, played by Fanua Bolle. Flat ball from dummy half. Croissau finds Roberts, and tackled here by Jacob Preston. Second game back from a broken arm. Latu Fanu back out there after his sin bin, as Matthew Elliott mentioned, and now here's Samuel Fano. Shares it to the left-hand side for Taruva. Tracks it back now for Jerome Luai. Minute 40 left in the game. It's still the Bulldogs 32, West Tigers 0. Dewey back across through hands, right-hand side to Croissau. Ali Haywood gets him on-1, and the ball stays in Appy's keeping. He'll play it 30 out. Second last play of this set for the West Tigers. Across now again with that man in Terrell May. Stands in a three-man tackle. 40 out from that northern line. Last play. Tigers, Croissau will kick from dummy half, and to decide where the Bulldogs will start this next set. In fact, Tracy gets there before the ball goes out of play, so he takes it on his own 10-metre line, returns it up over the 20, and they will start this set. 23 out with a minute and 4 seconds left in the game. The Bulldogs lead 32 points to 0, and now get a penalty here going their way, West Tigers, for a high shot. So 3-2 is the penalty count. Scoreline 32-0 is Canterbury's lead. Touchline Matthew Elliott.
Yeah, again, just when checked on Billy Army kick out, just if I could get some update on it. It doesn't seem that it's a serious injury, that he shouldn't want to leave him out on the field.
Okay, thanks, Matt. So 40 out from that northern line here with 20 seconds left. The Bulldogs. It's been not a classic game by any means for these two sides. Plenty of feeling though, as Alex Twal again puts one into the chops of Josh Curran. I don't know if it was quite the same as the Jamin 7 incident earlier, but it was quite forceful. Now players come from all angles as the seconds tick down. Referee Tyson Bruff will split them here, but this just goes to show the frustration that is evident, certainly from the West Tigers, who have been humbled here again. 32 points to 0 at the hands of the Bulldogs. And that's not the ideal way for the game to end, but as I said, in some ways symptomatic of what kind of night it's been for Benji Marshall's West Tigers, who have now lost 5 games in a row. But the Bulldogs keep that glimmer of hope there as far as September football for them. As again, there's still players that were sort of up in each other's grill, but now they're shaking hands, and that does officially close proceedings here in Hallertau. It's their 8th win of the year. The Bulldogs, they win it here, 32 points to the Tigers 0.
Yeah, obviously the referee doing the right thing there and just ending the game and letting things simmer, but it was a fairly hard game at times to watch, but the Bulldogs did what they needed to do, and Matty and yourself mentioned a number of times methodical, and that's the approach that it appeared the Bulldogs took. That they got through their sets, they stuck to their plan, and then they capitalised. When they got into good ball, they scored points, or they went to their key guys. I thought Lachlan Galvin was really strong for them against his old club. He took the line on quite a bit with the ball in hand, and he started to ice those opportunities at the end of the game. Really good kicking game as well. Their middles for the Bulldogs had to work really hard, and I think they just rolled the Tigers downfield through the middle third, and they were quite strong. Josh Curran was involved in lots, a couple of tries for his hard work. Their edges were strong. It's great to see Viliami kick out back. Obviously, keep an eye on that injury, and hopefully it's not too bad, as Matty alluded to, because he's going to be really important to them if they are going to keep pushing towards the end of the year.
Another shutout defeat for West Tigers, 32 points to 0 here. 5 tries to 0. It was Runakama in the first minute, Josh Curran in the 6th, and the 72nd for Josh Curran, and Naro Tuala in the first half as well, 22 minutes, and then Matt Burton in the 65th. He also kicked 5 out of 5 conversions, plus the extra penalty goal as well, and there were 2 sin bins for the West Tigers, Latu Fanu and Alex Twal, both in that second half. We'll get some reaction from Matt Elliott on the ground with the players very shortly, and then recap a busy day in round 20 this Saturday, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside Dean Hallertau and Matthew Elliott, and your texts remain welcome in this next half hour or so. 0467 920 222. So, the Bulldogs now make it 5 wins in their past 7 and keep that flicker alive here as far as finals footy in season 2026. Viliami Kikau returned tonight, and he's down there with you, Matthew Elliott.
Viliami Kikau, first of all, how's the injury?
It's good. You mean my back or the one I was... No, it's good, it's good. I just sort of did a little split there. Felt a little pain on my groin, but I'll be right.
Oh, that's good to hear. And how do you sum up that performance from the team tonight? It was like, again, you got momentum at times, you lost your way a little bit every now and then.
Yeah. It's been a tough few weeks, but we've scrapped on some win as well. But it's just good that the boys has held in there. I credit to the coaching staff. Everyone knows what happens between our four walls. The boys are training hard. Results probably not showing that on the weekend, but it's good to come out and put in a performance like that.
Will you be pretty happy with the nil score line as well? The defensive prowess tonight was great.
Yes, 100%. We're a team that we pride ourselves on our defence, because we know defence wins you games. So to put on our score line like that and keep our opponents to 0, it's a lot of credit to the boys.
It'd be pretty exciting about having that left-hand side with yourself and Matt Burton over there. Just once you start to get some connection between you, a few games up, there'll be a really potent combination.
Yeah, for sure. We just haven't been able to play together the whole year. It seems like one comes in, one has to go out with injury or something, but if we can get all the squad back together in this last few games, it'll be good for us.
Just great to see you back out in the field, mate. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Viliami Kikau there with Matthew Elliott, and he might even have to go on. He's going to get another interview with the... I was going to say, they're doing their prayer circle, which is fantastic. The players from both sides, and Viliami's got more commitments to do before we roll on with things here. But his second row partner, Jacob Preston, his second game back tonight is down there with you, Matthew.
Yeah, Jacob, your second game back, but your first game back starting for a while. How did that feel?
Yeah, mate, it was obviously feeling it, blowing a little bit towards the end there, but man, I'm just stoked to be back. I love playing footy, and it's not the same not playing, so yeah, just really happy to be back out there and contributing to the team.
Can you see this starting to get some momentum for the team? It was a really good team performance. You probably didn't always hit the highest levels, but I thought your first half was really solid.
Yeah, for sure. I think our first half was Bulldogs footy. We played our style of footy. We were very disappointed with how we played last week, and we had a big week of training. I think that showed in our first half, but yeah, like you said, there's a lot of work to do. We weren't too happy with that second half, but we got the job done.
I guess the other really important thing is the nil in the score line. What will the coaches' feedback be on that?
I think that's what Ciro will be happiest the most about. Anytime you can keep a team to nil, especially the Tigers, they play a very expansive game of footy and love to score points, so I think he'll be very proud of that effort.
And I guess looking forward now, coming out of that performance, what would you like to see the team really start to gel and grow your performance?
Yeah, I think, like you said, that nil, it all starts with our style of footy is built off our defence, and I felt like we got back to that tonight at stages. Still a little bit times here and there where we're switching off, but I think tonight was a massive step forward to getting back to Bulldogs footy. Also pretty cool that you get a half come in and kick a couple of 40-20s for you, one right in the first set of the game. Well, we felt the effect of it last week with Paddy, Owen Paddy kicking a couple, and yeah, it's so much better when you're going your way. Yeah, that's for sure. Absolutely, mate. I really appreciate your time, and good luck next week. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Jacob Preston there with Matthew Elliott. If you can get a Tiger, Matt, do your best. Otherwise, join us back up here for the post-game wash-up here alongside myself and Dean Hallertau. But 32 points to nil here. It's not a lot of good news for West Tigers. A few of their players are still out there, so we'll see if we can get a reaction from tonight's losers, and then we'll roll on with our wrap-up of the day here. And your text welcome 0467 920 The Bulldogs next up will face the Warriors here at Stadium Australia on Saturday in the 5:30 game. The Tigers are away against Canberra. That's at the 3 o'clock game next Saturday as well. So that's what's to come for these two sides in round 21. I'll look at the run home in detail as well because, as I said, the Bulldogs, look, there's a... based on their form line, so 5 of their past 6 now, 5 wins in 6 starts. They've got still to come, so the Warriors next week, then Melbourne, who are depleted. The Roosters, South, Dragons, Penrith, Brisbane. It's a tough run home. I mean, I know Brisbane have been not as capable this year. They did beat the Penrith Panthers a couple of nights ago to start the round, but there are some tough games on the run home for the Bulldogs. But as of right now, Dean, they are 8 and 9, a chance to square the ledger at home next week, and you never quite know what can happen on the run home in any given season. Yeah, well, the Bulldogs, they have a tough brand of football. You heard from Jacob Preston before talking about how they build their games. It's around the defence. A 0 scoreline is important to them, and you know, as they get troops back on the field, it gives them probably more confidence to turn up and play the style of football that they want to play. So there's no reason why they can't start stringing some games together, but it does start with that, you know, backing up again next week and put in a strong performance and getting another 2 points. That's where you build the confidence, the compounding effect of win after win. Who are your 3 best players tonight, the ABC Player of the Year? Well, 1 point I'm going to give to Sean O'Sullivan. The opening 40-20 was crucial in getting them off to a good start, but the second 40-20 that he hit as well in the second half really swung the momentum that the Tigers had gained, and I thought he just guided things around the park really well. Strong performance in his kicking game generally. 2 points. I'm going to go to Ratu Rinakama. I thought he was outstanding. We talked about a lot in the first half, those bombs that he was getting asked to catch time after time under all sorts of pressure. It was that, but also the way he got their sets off to a good start. 200 plus running metres. I thought he was outstanding for the Bulldogs this evening. And then for 3 points, I'm going to go to Lachlan Galvin. I thought that he ran the ball strong. I know he missed a few opportunities to ice tries in the first half, but he really took the game on. He took his old team on through the middle. He was confident with the way he ran, but he also came up with 30 tackles and 0 misses for a halfback. He had some big bodies coming at him, and he turned up and answered every question that was asked of him. So I was really impressed by the young number 7's game. 31st game as a Bulldog. He played 31 games as a West Tiger, so he can now sort of say he's played most of his career as of next week as a Bulldog at Canterbury Bankstown. So he gets you 3 points, 2 for Rinakama and 1 to Sean O'Sullivan in the ABC Player of the Year as awarded by Dean Hallertau. 0467 920 222. I can't express how disappointing being a West fan is. They've been rubbish. Scotty Prince ready to take over, says ex-Tiger TJ. Oh, he's ex-Tigers. What are you doing jumping off your own team? Don't give up. Mind you, it's easy to say. I'm not one of those supporters, so it's easy to say if you're watching from the outside. Can't cross for a single try in 80 minutes of football against the Dogs. Very poor, says one texter. A few more minutes than that, I think, since they've scored a point. Yeah. Well, they scored They got the 1 try last week against the Warriors. That was Samuel Afonu. But Dave in the Cab says the Tigers' poor record at this ground will be a disadvantage if they make the grand final. I think that's a long way off, Dave. But yes, 11 straight losses now at Stadium Australia, and all those dreams of 21 years ago. And the fact their last win came at this venue in round 19 at 2018 says it all. And I don't. It's hard to sort of. We've discussed this before, haven't we, Shop? This stadium is not so revered in the same way as, say, the AFL's MCG is. But you want to win games here because this is where the big games are won. The biggest game is won. And I guess it sort of underlines the West Tigers' plight the past decade plus. They haven't won games here. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're unable to win games, I think, is less to do with this venue and more to do with, just the way that they've been travelling as a unit over that period. So, there's a lot of work for them to reflect on from tonight. They started the
the year, obviously, well, and that seems to have been that's a distant memory now for people. So the challenge for the Tigers, in amongst all the noise that was spoken about for them, is to how do they get themselves back into that form where they all look really connected, they all looked like they were heading in the same direction, and they played with a physicality and a toughness that had been missing for a while, you got to say, with the Tigers. So that's what they're going to search for off the back of this.
Welcome back, Matt. No Tigers, can you chat to you or what? No, sorry. It's that time of year. No Tigers can have a chat to you or what?
Well, I felt like I needed some deodorant or something. I was scaring them off left, right and centre. So and then I went to their media manager and said that, look, maybe best to leave them alone because all the senior players had been taken elsewhere. So I didn't really get the opportunity other than younger guys. So
32-0 the full-time score in the end. Penalty count was 3-2 Bulldogs. There were 3 reports made, so they being there were the 2 sin bins, Latu Whanu and Alex Twal, and Adam Dewey was also placed on report in the second half as well. So there you go. That sort of underlines it. How bad was it for the Tigers first team, Matt? We don't want to sort of go on the negatives with them because the Bulldogs, of course, as I say, give themselves a fighting chance as far as that top 8 picture. It will be tough, though, for them regardless. And I mentioned their run home. But what do you, if you're Benji Marshall, what are you first looking to rectify against Canberra next week?
The best way for me to describe that, and I need a really long memory to remember to being a young man, but they looked like a very distracted team to me. Dean just shared before, we've got evidence of what they're capable of doing this year. We've seen it. It's been out in the field. They were not just playing well, they were playing some outstanding footy with a lot of physicality. That was not there at all tonight. So it's not about what's in the team, it's what the team's delivering at the moment, and they're not delivering their best footy.
So, Jerome Luai factor, which we discussed throughout the game and at half time. I want to get your thoughts on this, Matt, because I love your insights on leadership and culture and those sorts of things. The fact he's bound for Parramatta next year, of course, Benji says it was it was initiated by the club and this is what direction they want to go in. But as to what it does in the here and now, you mentioned the word distraction. People have made the point, hey, should he play in the New South Wales Cup for a bit? Those things sound outlandish. However, can you see something like that happening? Or what possible advantages or disadvantages are there of how do you manage it on the run home, this Jerome Luai situation?
Can I just start with what comes before that? All right, and there's people booing him out there. They're booing the wrong person. I've been saying this for 20 years. The player movement system in our game has gone from disgraceful to pathetic, in my opinion. Okay, I watch other sports where it's, there's drafts and it's revered and people tune in to watch it. And we have so there's people there booing Jerome Luai tonight, right? I was on the field.
Tigers fans.
They were booing him.
Yeah.
They're booing the wrong person. He's a young man, and then I'll sit there and go, okay, if you're a tradesperson, right, and you're working your backside off and you're getting whatever amount, 50 grand a year, and then someone comes to you and says, well, come and work for me for 75, what are you going to do?
And that's fine. So next year he's got the opportunity at Parramatta for a year before he goes to the PNG Chiefs. But if you're the West Tigers, how do you manage the situation?
Well, they created this situation in 2 things. They gave him permission to negotiate. And then secondly, well, I get where they're coming from, West Tigers. They're going, well, look, if we can use an extra amount of money, 500K or whatever it is, and we can invest in some of these young players and make sure we keep them at the club, I get that. That's a decision they made. I just think the timing of that decision. I watched Jerome Luai play a month ago. He came up with 2 man of the match performances, absolutely tore the opposition apart. So if we think that this stuff doesn't impact the individual, we're kidding ourselves.
And you can see him out there. He's having moments of getting really motivated and really, impassioned about what's going on. He's a competitor. He's come from a winning environment where he's used to having success, and he wants to be experiencing that here and in the moment. And You know, he's come out and he's been fairly open with when he talks to people about what he's going through. He's trying to do all the right things to make sure that he's not perceived that way as if he's not performing the way that he should be performing. Like, he's trying to get there. It's just really hard to do that when there's so much other things going on.
And it's a collective thing. You could see this wasn't just about one player tonight. The whole team didn't come out of the sheds in that first half, did they? You don't need to be an expert in the game to work that out. And I listened to all the text messages coming in. There's just something there missing in their energy.
Can I ask, Matty, what was the chat like amongst you? You were pretty close to the Tigers bench and obviously them on the field. How was the level of talk between the players and in and around things?
It was really interesting to watch. It's funny you raise that, Dean, because that's something I always look at, right? There were a lot of people looking down and not a lot of interaction at all, and because they care, right? They're disappointed. But sometimes it's in those moments where it's toughest to lift your head up and look at each other and then come up with something that you're going to do, not what we need to do. You know what? I'm going to step up in this moment and I'm going to do it. And that starts from the bench and it goes on the field everywhere. So at the moment, they look to me like a very, very distracted unit.
West Tigers have, as I said, Canberra away next, then Parramatta at home, then the bye, then that last lot of 4 games, Dragons, Roosters, Cowboys, Penrith. So again, a pretty sort of tough run home there for the West Tigers. The Bulldogs jumped from 11th up to 10th, which sounds like they're in touching distance of the top 8. But Dolphins, Cowboys, Seagulls all play tomorrow. Dolphins and Cowboys play each other at Lang Park, so I guess only one of them can win. The Seagulls have the Gold Coast Titans, so the Bulldogs sit a fair way behind the Seagulls on for and against. There's still a fair differential there of, I think, 62 points. So even on even competition points of 22 points each after this 8th win for Cameron Serrato's men, they sit 10th, but there's still a few moving pieces there. They go ahead of the Melbourne Storm, but that will be a tight logjam in that sort of top 9 or 10 teams, because 10 doesn't go into 8, and they're certainly in the mix there, the Bulldogs, with this win tonight at least. But as I said, a very tough run home. Let's go back to look at what happened across the day so far, and we began the day in Canberra, where the Raiders beat the Rabbitohs, who came back in that second half. It was always sort of being teased that South could run the Raiders down, but Glenn Lauder called the action alongside Alan Tongue.
Yeah, talk about a game of 2 halves, Spriggy. The Raiders ran riot in the first half. They were leading 28-0 after 28 minutes. Yeah, talk about a game of 2 halves, Spriggy. The Raiders were leading 28-6 after 28 minutes. It was quite incredible. Owen Paddy, Hudson Young, Kyo Weeks and Noah Martin, as well as Kyo Weeks, all scoring in that first half an hour. They had 5 tries. But South Sydney managed to get back into the arm wrestle at the end of the first half and then came out beautifully in the second half, scored a couple of really quick tries to change the momentum of the game and set it up beautifully at the